I feel like in the beginning, it was I wanted to have that world because I was in that world, right? It fascinated me, right? Like that someone can just be behind the decks and control a whole crowd. And so I sent it to Tiësto. And Tiësto right away hit me back and he's like, oh, I want this. So I was like, yo, guys, like,
we gotta reply.
You gotta reply. And it's not just a regular reply, it's Tiësto. All of a sudden we see someone tweets at us, Steve Angello just dropped, hit it. I think art is everything. I know it sounds cliche, right?
Sure.
But I mean, it literally is everything. Anything that someone creates can be a form of art. Learn how to edit.
Okay.
Right? Learn how to edit pictures. Learn Photoshop, right? I know it's like, oh my God, but I have to learn this. Oh yeah, you do. Now, if you just want to create that, that's fine, cool. But if you're really trying to take something to a whole nother level, learn that. Learn the business side of certain things, right? Of whatever industry you're in. Yeah.
You're Henrix now.
Yeah.
What is Henrix to you?
Hold on. Can you tell the story of how you got? Okay.
Yeah. I'm about to tell the story right now.
Paul cracked up out of nowhere. This is Rock Talk, where we document short conversations with experienced people in the Rockwell ecosystem. Today at HQ, we have someone whose story is filled with reinvention and purpose. He's performed on global stages as a DJ and music producer with some of big residencies all around Las Vegas and beyond. Music releases to go along with it. He then walked away from it all to be able to find his passion again through art or painting. In the short time doing it, he has already built one of the most distinct visual brands coming out of Miami right now. A friend of mine, a real one. Thank you for taking the time to sit with us, Pedro Enriquez, AKA Henrix. Welcome to Rock Talk.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. So I found out on the way up that we're going to hear essentially the full story of the transition from entertainer music to artist art. And I'm beyond grateful for this. I thought I had just not caught up with the story, but you brought it to light that you hadn't said it.
Yeah, so I've never really talked about it in public, right?
Amazing.
I think my story of why I stopped, it was always a question of like what just happened.
Right.
Because I was touring. I had a residency in Las Vegas at Light Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay. And all of a sudden I just kind of just went.
Yeah,
that was
went dark.
Yeah, and the people that I really know are just kind of my close friends and family, to an extent. Cool. Family, right? So this is actually the first time I'm talking about it in public, and because I've always wanted to, just haven't found the right time. I've heard a lot of things, people telling me that someone told them this, that I left because of that, right? And I'm just like, what? I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense.
Sometimes not saying the story leaves for the unknown.
Exactly.
Of then, other stories kind of.
So for me, I started my music career actually with Paul, right?
Nice.
He's the one that actually helped me with the DJing stuff.
Question before you dive in. Did you start DJing first or producing first?
It's a great question, yeah. So I actually did the opposite of what most people do, which was I started DJing first. I used to go to clubs and Paul would be DJing there, and then we used to go to like Nocturnal a lot back in the days at Space. And dance music really got me like, it just excited me, right? The house music, and I wanted to get into it because I mean, at that time I didn't know I had like creativity inside of me. It's actually a pretty funny story of like when I was in high school, I had a music production class that I had an elective for in 11th grade. I walked in there, I was like, no, this is not for me.
Right.
So I asked to get out of the
no way.
Swear to God. And I left the music production class and I went to an art class to take my art credit.
Okay.
Right. And then my teacher was there and I didn't care anything about it, but she's like, you have some talent. Like, why don't you do something? Like I sculpted some stuff there and she did a contest, I got first place. But I was like, eh.
And that was the first time exploring with art.
Yeah, but I didn't even really know that I cared for it, right?
Got it.
I walked into a music production class and the first week I asked for them to take me out. Now, mind you, a few years later, I graduate. I met Paul, the DJ. He was DJing at the time, so I asked him like, "Hey, let's start something." I'd like to learn. And so he started helping me with it.
Nice.
We would,
this is pre-laptop, pre-USB.
Yeah.
This is you're actually really
CDs.
DJing,
I still
right?
actually have the CDs at my house. Yeah.
Nice.
So Paul would come to my house, and I had these really cheap, it wasn't even CDJs. It was like, I forgot what it was. Some really terrible things, but
I played music.
I played music. Yeah. So he started helping me with it. And then I decided, like, hey, you know, if I want to take this somewhere, production is going to be where it's at. Right. So I started exploring with music production. I got a hacked version of Fruity Loops.
Okay.
FL Studios at the time, right?
Go.
And I would stay up all night. You know, me and Paul would work, and then it became an obsession for me. And I feel like that was at that point in my life where I really started discovering the creativity part of me. Like, I used to draw when I was a kid.
Okay.
But it wasn't something that I was like, oh my God, you know, I'm going to do something like this creative and for the rest of my life.
It was passing time and more of a thing that happened.
And so I was like, okay, I really like this. And it became an obsession. And that's when I also found out how obsessive I become with things that I like. Right. And I would stay up all night.
Question, you're making music, it's 3 a.m., you're in your room or, you know, in different settings. Are you looking at it at that time as music as an art? Or are you looking at it as a lifestyle where you were, you know, essentially, what were you chasing?
It was a bit of both, right? I feel like in the beginning, it was I wanted to have that world because I was in that world, right? I put myself in a world of like the after hours partying.
Correct. That's why that question came about, because you mentioned nocturnal space.
Exactly.
Like,
so
you're seeing these guys that are playing there. What was the gravitation?
Exactly. And I see the DJs and everybody's like gravitating towards the DJ, right? And the local celebrities. There was actually a party. Biz Martinez had local celebrity in Nocturnal. And it fascinated me, right? Like that someone can just be behind the decks and control a whole crowd, right? And everyone goes there for a certain DJ. It's like they had guest DJs, you know, that would fill the place up.
Right.
You know, Murillo, Victor Calderon at the time, Roger Sanchez. I can go, you know, days here, and
some still doing it.
Yeah, some are still doing it, right?
At space.
Yeah. So you know, I feel like in the beginning it was mostly to try to get that, like, to have that.
Sure.
But and then I started kind of really discovering myself as an artist, as I like what I do. I like creating something to show the world what I can do, right? I feel like, you know, you need artists to create things. Like everything, you know, everything for me is an art form, right? You just have to somewhat just more, I guess, artistic, if you want to call it, right?
Or labeled that way, right?
Yeah, but if you look at this chair right here, like this is a form of art for me, right? Like look how they created this right here, right? Like you have everything that they do, like visually. When you got this chair, you looked at it and you said, "Man, this is gonna look cool."
And something I like,
right?
Yeah.
So there was an artist that created this, right? So then I started discovering myself. The music became a bit different, right? I started transitioning more into different styles. So years of me bedroom DJ, right, and bedroom producer. I was DJing a lot in the Miami scene, right, when I started. The lifestyle was a lot of partying. Right? Everyone knows back then it was Mecca.
And Miami in general, yeah. South Beach was South Beach still.
Exactly.
And the after hours were a real scene.
It was insane. But you also got into you can get yourself into some pretty bad habits.
Absolutely.
Right, which I did. Anyone that knows me back then, I got into very bad habits, right? A lot of stuff kept me up at night, you know, alcohol, just partying too much. And
a product of your environment too, right? You're in that setting a lot of hours a week.
Yeah, and then also with the music production stuff, I started just like creating music, and it was like through the nights and stuff, and just kept going and going. And then it was 2012. GTA. That's when I hit up Matt, and I was like, "Hey Matt, we should do like a track together." Matt used to live 5-10 minutes from my house. So like, all right, let's just work on something, right? I had signed a few tracks to like Laid Back Luke's label at that point. And he already had signed some tracks to Luke's label, was Chanel. He was already doing stuff with Diplo. And I was like, all right, let's go. So I went to his studio, it was me and him. And we started working on Hit It.
Okay.
Right? So that was, when we were making it, kind of tossed ideas back and forth. But I felt like when we left that day, there was something big there, right?
You felt that flame.
Yeah.
Would you say this is the biggest track with your name on it?
Yeah, for sure.
To date? Yeah,
for sure,
I Google, and I have to Google you on a personal level, but I Googled to see what came up.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
A lot of the searches hit that.
And there's a funny story behind that. Also, I never said really in public, is once we kind of finished it, started sending it out, right? Now, our managers just flipped over it as well, and they start sending out things. So I sent it to Tiësto. And Tiësto right away hit me back, and he's like, "Oh, I want this." Musical Freedom had just come out at the time.
Okay.
So it was a massive thing, Musical Freedom. So I was like, "Yo, guys, like
we got to reply.
You got to reply, and it's not just a regular reply;
Right.
It's Tiësto." And he's like, "So I'm like, of course, yeah, right." And at the time, the guys were like, "This is for sure, yeah." Now, mind you, I think this was probably, I want to say like a Thursday or something like that.
Okay.
The weekend was coming up. A day or two later, we're just kind of searching to see something online. All of a sudden, we see someone tweets at us. Steve Angello just dropped Hit It on his festival, Size Matter something. I forgot what it was. I'm like, holy shit. Now, mind you, Swedish House Mafia were the biggest thing on the planet for dance music at that time. Right?
Masquerade Ball and all that stuff.
Everything. So I didn't, like, I was just kind of like, I said yes to Tiësto. But they were kind of like, let's talk to Steve to see if there's management. So managers hit up Steve, and Steve's like, oh, I want it for Size.
Sheesh.
Oh, shit. I mean, I want it for Size too.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, Tiësto, right? But at that time, you know.
Nah, and legacies wise.
And mind you, I wasn't big. My name wasn't known like that, and I wanted to get as big as possible, you know, to the biggest label. And Size was just that label at that time. So the guys were like, okay, we have to get to Steve. I have to write the email to Tiësto.
Oh, God.
All right. And I write
How long did that email take to write?
Man, I deleted it. I deleted that thing and wrote it again. And it was just...
This is before ChatGPT too, so you had to actually write it.
So I'm not going to lie to you. When I wrote it, I don't remember exactly what he responded, but it was something like short. Right? And you can kind of tell that he wasn't too happy about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was bothered.
So my first tour ever, I go on tour with Bassjackers and Dyro. Nice. I'm in the car with them, and they're like, yo, so you're going to tell us that story about how you just denied Tiësto? Because it's all over the Netherlands right now, how you just know Tiësto. Like, I'm like, what? I didn't know he was that pissed.
Right.
Right? So yeah, that was the thing. So anyways, life just took off at that point, right?
So it gets released with Size.
Okay. Right? It hits overall, I think it was number 2 on Beatport, but it was probably one of the most played tracks at Ultra. Skrillex dropped it. Everyone was just playing it. It was everywhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what that makes you feel as an artist, right? Because
it felt amazing because it's something that, you know, I worked my ass off for so many years, right? Late nights, wouldn't sleep, right? To get to something like that.
You mean
right?
This wasn't the first track you made?
You know,
the other 1,000 no one heard of, right?
Yeah, the labels didn't even respond to me.
Correct. Correct.
It was just, sometimes you feel like it's just like, am I doing this? Is it getting anywhere?
Right.
Right. But it just takes one. Right. It just takes one.
That validity that comes.
Right. And then that one is when people just kind of gravitate to you. Then everything else that you put out, just make sure that it's pretty good. Yeah.
Right.
And you know, you'll get your name out there. Right. So I know it's very cliched, never give up, but
sure,
that's just the truth, because you can be right there. Right. So yeah, my life took off. I was touring every weekend. I was in either a different city in the U.S. I'd be in a different country.
A lot of festivals at that time.
Festivals.
Good
I did
billings.
stuff with Hardwell. I did Ibiza with Hardwell. I did some tours with Laidback Luke in Asia. It was just insane, but things got pretty crazy.
Okay.
I wanted all that, but I don't know if I was prepared.
Okay.
For everything that came with it.
And how old are you in this era? Mid-20s?
Yeah, mid-20s. So this was 2013. So this was 12 years ago. Yeah, so that would be mid-20s to I'm gonna be 40 this year. So.
Okay. Yeah. So
yeah,
that's important, right?
Yeah.
Because getting all this as a late 30s person might be different.
Exactly.
You could be a little more prepared on how to handle it and what to do with it. And
exactly. And here's the thing. I feel like in my 20s, I partied so hard, like extremely hard in my early 20s, right? That when I got to the mid to late 20s, I don't know if my body kept up with it.
Okay. Yeah. Partied out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was happening was I was traveling and I had no sleep because jet lag. I didn't know what time it was because I could be in one country at one moment, another country, another moment. I can be in a different state. I can be in different time zones. And I started replacing sleep with a lot of bad habits again that I had, right? And here's one thing that when I first started this, I was already doing a lot of like partying, but I made a promise to myself at that time is that if I ever get to a point of almost of no return, I guess you call it, that I'm going to stop.
All in.
Because I've seen too many people just go out bad, right?
Piss away their career.
Yeah, and not just their career, but their lives. Some people, die because they got too crazy into things. And it was end of 2015. We were set to renew the third year of Vegas, and I was like, done, done. This is I tried to continue a little longer for a few more months, but at like a smaller scale.
Okay, kind of pull back a little
more, maybe just in the U.S. or something. But I couldn't. I felt also that the music industry ate me alive.
Okay.
Right?
Was it a personal thing or was it an industry thing? Do you think it was you in that industry or do you think that type of industry?
No, the industry 100%.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, 100%. No, because it even got to a point where record labels were asking for certain things that I'm like...
So now they're telling you what to make.
Yeah, right? Like, man, come on. Like, this is not really up my alley, right? And then you have things from management that are trying to push you to do certain things, because
and to explain the landscape, I'm gonna assume because I don't remember exactly who you were with and what, but you have a full-time agent, you have a manager, you have a music manager. Everybody's kind of pushing and pulling in different directions, and you're the nucleus in the middle that at a certain point might even lose say or control.
You do, and what a lot of people don't understand is that, okay, so when I got signed to AM Only at the time.
AM Only.
Yeah, AM Only was my, which was probably, I don't know about now, but at that time was one of the biggest, agencies.
Top
it was Tiësto's at the time, it was Hardwell's. And I'll never forget, I went to New York and to meet with them first. And the first thing, we get into this room and it's this big table and you have a bunch of executives, right? My manager, and we're all speaking. All of a sudden, everyone's just mapping out my career.
For you.
Yeah, and I'm just like, holy shit, But at that time, I'm like, this is legit.
Right.
And it is legit, but that's just the reality of what it is.
It's a business.
Right? Because it's just like you just said, it is a business. So they need to make money off of it.
Right.
Right? They're not just doing this because they like you.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. Nobody really does things just because, most people don't, at least, because they just like you, right?
And in the art world too, it's that business sense sometimes is, what can we do with this person? Not necessarily I believe in what this person is doing.
Exactly.
Right? And
because you can be the most talented person in the world, right? But if you don't have the right branding, marketing, people behind you, that
personality too, right? You could be a dickhead.
Yeah, you can exactly
deal with you.
That talent can, I don't want to say go to waste, because you can just do it for yourself and that's fine.
Sure.
Right? But the world's not really going to see it unless you actually map it out correctly.
Right.
Right? That's something I learned over the years. There's no getting away from that. Bottom line, there's no getting away from that.
We live in a society.
Like, yeah, you have to be able to plan everything and execute everything, at the highest level. Right? And if you can't do that, you're either no one's going to know you, or you're just going to become here. And if you want to be here, there's levels to it.
Right.
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 And it just suck. It does, but it takes that creative part of you out when you're trying to do certain things. It became something where I like to explore different things in art. If you even look at my art over the last 2 years, it's evolved. Right. Like a lot of artists.
Like a lot of humans, right?
We all evolve, right? The older you get,
correct,
right? The more you evolve, and the music industry sometimes didn't want to let me do that, right? They wanted a certain thing. Now, if I'm creating music for someone else, I get that.
Sure, they're paying you for a service almost at that point.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You nailed it. It's a service, right? So, but it's if I'm doing something for me, right?
Now you're a product.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So, a lot of things just started to build on me, and it didn't become fun anymore. It became like stress. Right.
Anxiety.
It became, what's my next move to continue this, right? And if I don't like this move, then these people are not going to back me on it, right? And I wasn't that big for me to be able to call the shots like that.
Right. Where this is the way I'm going.
Yeah. Like I felt like I had a great career, but I wasn't like no Tiësto, no Hardwell.
Right.
I probably wouldn't be here right now. Probably still be touring or something. I don't know.
Making
but
sure
at
you
my own terms.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. You're better. Yeah. Thank you, Paul. But it was. So I was just like, I have to make a decision here. So I stopped cold turkey. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people ask me, why cold turkey? Why didn't you just continue to produce on the back end, right? Like instead of, if the touring is the part that really messed you up. What people don't understand about other people that are very creative and need to get things out. At that time, if I were to continue to make music, I know for a fact I would want to perform that song. I compare it to someone that goes to rehab for a drug or alcohol. If you go to rehab, the first thing they tell you to do is that you cannot be around people when you get out of it that do that, right? And because the moment that you are around the people that do whatever drug or, drink, you fall back into that world.
Sure. Environment.
Right? So that was my thing. I said, I have to stop cold turkey because I know that if I continue it, it's going to be a problem for me.
And you mentioned if I made music, I'd want to perform it.
Exactly.
Which one did you enjoy more? The process of the creating of the music or the process of exposing now your music or your art to the crowd?
It's a tough question. I think the process of creating the music, because it is something where you explore different things along the way, right? When you're creating it. So I'll start off with a melody, right? But once I start building something else, like the breakdown, like, oh, maybe I need to change the key to this, or the melody. I like the drop on this one, but if I can add the melody to this, it's a creative process, right? With performing, it's more of like,
but I'm sure you get more validity out of the performance,
now,
right?
Here's the thing.
Now you're going to get the reaction.
Now, here's the thing. This is what people ask me. How does it feel to perform, right? I DJ the Tomorrowland main stage. At the time, insane. Alesso was coming up. He played before me.
Wow.
Yeah. Right? It is the biggest high you can never have more than any drug, any alcohol, anything you can ever imagine. It is the biggest high that I'll ever experience. Because maybe even my son being born now is just a bigger high than that, but
I can see, you know, you're referring to it as a high. Getting hooked to that.
It is.
Right? And being very addicting in that sense. And then I can see on the artistic sense, if that disappears, you have a void.
Exactly.
How do you get that now? You know what I mean?
So I go cold turkey. I disappear from places. As far as like anything has to do with like music. And I started a new Instagram for my personal, leave my music thing there, don't touch it, you know, and just disappear. My personal one, you know, I just have it there. And throughout the years, since 2016 when I stopped, it was hard. It was like really hard for me.
Right.
Not be able to create when my mind is constantly telling me I need to create.
Yeah, some type of outlet.
Something. It was extremely tough for me, actually. So I spent a few years, and it's not like I got depressed or anything like that, right? I was happy. Actually got into finance and things like that. Yeah, mortgages. And it's 2023. It was, I think it was March, around March, February or something like that. Like a year before, I had bought like a little sketchbook.
Okay.
Never touched it, left it on the side of the bed. It was there for like a year. And then when I just decided to pick it up, I was in bed and just started like sketching. And my wife was like, she's like, wait a minute, hold on.
What are you doing, bro?
like, what the, when did you know how to, you know, like,
where'd this come from?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, like I used to draw when I was like 13.
My teacher told me I was good one time. I don't know. Like,
yeah. So she's like, oh, you have something there. And I was like, okay, I'll explore the idea here. So then I just started learning certain things, watching like YouTube videos on how to paint certain things, textures, and what good paints and techniques and stuff. But that goes back to my obsessiveness of learning things.
I was gonna ask, do you think creatives, it's all about, you know, evolving and kind of doing different things in a different way and in a creative way, making almost something new that's old or relative. Are creatives learners?
Oh, absolutely.
Would you say that's a blanket that you can put where it's like, because basically the question becomes like, as an artist, and I kind of want to dial back on the ego, right?
Yeah.
What does it do to the ego when you're getting all this validity, like a performing at Tomorrowland? Like at a certain point, does your psyche tell you don't need to learn anymore? You're the man.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And then so in this transition of your phase back to art, is there a little bit of a reward feeling where you're like, oh, now this is something that I can learn again, right? Where before it was, and I'm not saying you got to that point where maybe mentally you were telling yourself,
I think everybody gets to that point, you know, to a certain degree.
Like Jordan saying he has room to improve as a basketball player.
Yeah.
So people would think he's insane, but his type of personality and that addictiveness to the game, he's probably still a student to it if you asked him, you know, like, so I can, you know, how would you tie that into from the cutoff of the music career to picking up that notebook? You know, did your ego go through a roller coaster ride in that process, or?
Yeah, especially in the beginning, right after I stopped, and then, I hear stories of why I stopped, which I didn't even know those stories were real. But hey, whatever.
Any of them had some truth to it, or it was like just people not knowing, saying certain things?
Who was it? I think there was like a DJ here in Miami. I forgot his name, to be honest with you. But one of my boys told me that he was with him somewhere, and he's like, yeah, Henrix just like, you know, he just had bad management, and he just is now. I'm like, like, yeah, I mean, towards the end, my management didn't have like the greatest of, you know, things, but it wasn't something where
it wasn't the reason
I stopped because of bad man. Like, it was just like, wait a minute, hold on, where's these stories coming from? But yeah, I just never felt the need to tell anyone. But anyways, like going back to what you were saying about like the ego, that my ego, when I stopped, it took a hit. I think it's natural. I think when you're coming up also and you're touring, you do start getting a bit of that ego. But here's the thing: I think the older you get in life, you start to realize that that's stupidity, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's something like young dudes feel. You get me? And you need to cut that. Because you need to cut that, because in this world, everyone's replaceable.
Yep.
Everyone's replaceable, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Everyone is going to be replaceable, and if you think that you're not, that you're untouchable, that's when your things start.
Replaced.
Yeah, you're gonna get replaced. Yeah, and you know that. When I stopped to getting back, when I actually started doing the art stuff and started posting stuff on Instagram, this is where something where I, to this day, and I still keep it, I wanted to help people too. If I get to a point of where I can help, then I will. Whereas before, it's like a DJ, not that I didn't want to help people, but it was more of like, I don't really like, oh yeah, whatever. You get me? Now I have artists hitting me up all the time on DMs like, hey, this is not, like, oh, give them tips, do this, do that, right? Just because when I first started even with art, I would hit up artists and nobody would respond to me.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I had one guy, and he's my homie in Tampa, Jason Skeldon. There's only one that, and I was actually, to this day, me and him are cool. And I told him that, I'm like, you know, I actually in the beginning, I like dissect his art and try to copy it and stuff, right? To learn things. I told him that we did a show together, Dirty Rabbit. And he's like, yo, how did you like kind of get like this? I'm like, cause I just copied you, bro.
Yeah, but through the copying, then you found certain things.
So that's how it is. But that's
reinvent.
exactly how creativity is, right? In the beginning, you're going to end up like kind of copying people. And then you have to find your way.
I was sitting with a live musician earlier this week, and it was the same thing. And he took it almost as in like, through the copying stage, what you're actually doing is practicing your craft.
Exactly.
So if you see something you like and you can recreate it, you're gonna have to learn how that person created it. And now you have another paintbrush, for example, in your right, and you know how to use something a certain way, and now you can add this element to it, and now guess what? It's new. It's no longer something 100%. That you completely copy.
100%, because you figured it out.
Right.
Now that you figured it out, how are you going, and I'm not saying how you're going to top that person that you copied, but more of like, how are you going to find your voice?
Make it yours.
Yeah, right? Like your voice or whatever your style. Now that you know the technique.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that's important.
I mean, if we're talking about DJing, right? You had to learn how to DJ from someone, in this case, Paul.
It was.
You probably had a very similar style at first.
Yeah.
And then you learned, I want to bring in songs this way better, or I want to do this, or I want to learn that, or you learned something else from someone else. Now you combine two elements of it, and it goes from there. So
I literally copied Paul in the beginning. Like,
I literally used his CDs.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Like he was my teacher.
Yes.
In the beginning, like, and I'll credit to him. I'm telling you, and I will say that to the day I die. Like, he in the beginning, as far as DJing, he was the one that helped me the most. We had Miami House Project together.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. And I want to dive into that, and I have a question specifically about that. But before that. I'm envisioning, I was grateful to have joined you, in Vegas a couple times. I remember the Mansion Cameo shows, and I could just imagine that rewarding feeling times 100 on like a festival stage, like a Tomorrowland, right? What's your most memorable live performance, and why? Was it because it meant something? Was it because it was wild? Was it, what's the why to it?
Yes, there's a few. I think Tomorrowland is probably the number one, just because it's Tomorrowland. It was a main stage, right? I just got so drunk.
I forgot I was at Tomorrowland.
Dude, I'll never forget. I was back. We were backstage, and I'm so wasted. And right next to me, Dirty South and Cascade are talking. I'm like, yeah. I start talking to them. I'm like, and they're like, what?
Huh?
Oh my God, man! But it was just, I was so nervous. Right? I was so nervous. It was 50,000 people. No, well, at the time, it was 30,000 because it wasn't full just yet, but it was 30,000 people. I had never
looking
DJed.
at you.
Yeah, and it was just, whoa. Other memorable ones, I had, of course, Amnesia in Ibiza.
Nice.
I had one in Toronto And it was a specific moment in Toronto, and it was snowing. I have that video still. It was snowing like crazy. It was nighttime, and I played a mashup edit that I did with John Lennon's Imagine.
Okay.
Right, and when I put the music down, and I had the whole crowd singing like Imagine all the people. Oh man, I still get goosebumps to this day. Like, I have that video, and I watch it every once in a while. I'm like,
send it to Paul. It's gonna be in the clip right here.
I have to find it. I think it's in my Instagram still. But and then other ones, I think when I played Governor's Ball with Hardwell at New York, it was outside, and I dropped Hard Knock Life.
Okay.
The original.
Nice.
In New York.
Nice.
Right. And I have that video too, and I'll send you guys. Oh my God.
And it wasn't common to just drop like a hip hop track in the middle of an EDM set.
Of course not, right? I got to that point where I was doing a lot of that.
Nice.
On my sets, right? A lot of like original hip hops or like pop, and then drop it into a dance music.
Yes.
And that crowd in New York just went absolutely crazy. It's New York. Yeah. Hard Knock Life, Jay-Z, you know? Yeah. So those are some memorable ones. I had a few of them, but I think top of my head, those kind of jump out right now.
All right, so I'm gonna take you to, it's August 13th, 2010. All right, I'm gonna
oh wait, hold on, before we get that.
All right.
This is probably one of the top ones. My first headlining event in Miami solo, like after Hit It,
okay,
was Mansion.
Okay.
Mansion at that time
was
well, this was when it was kind of dying down.
Okay.
And I had the pictures and videos of that day. That place was absolutely slammed to the top.
Nice.
The top. I had the Miami Herald, which I had no idea was gonna do something on it. They did an article, that I have hanging on my wall to this day.
That's wild.
Yeah, and that place was slammed. And people were just like this. That right there, because it was Miami, and my hometown, my first major one after like Hit It came out, Mansion was just like I've always wanted to headline there as well. That was a big thing for me.
Mansion, towards the end,
yeah,
it had competition, and if it was towards the end, then Live probably had just opened, and this and that.
So they weren't packing that much,
right? But
so to see that,
but
right?
Mansion was Mansion in the years before.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, those were the days.
And it was like the spot.
Yeah,
like, that's where you wanted to party,
that's why,
much less DJ.
That's why I wanted to DJ so badly, because I was there when it was Mansion. You get me?
Yes. Yes.
It was
and it means a lot more too. You're looking at a sold out crowd, but probably half of it.
Yeah.
Right? You're looking, you're like, damn, that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so, and these people are coming to support, me as an individual, but also, obviously, the art that I'm putting out. I was
scared that day, though. I didn't think it was going to be packed.
No shit.
I didn't think it was going to be packed. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I was scared. I'm like, this is my first one. I'm going to get there. It's probably going to be decent. Right. Some people that I know. And just to see, like, because remember, they open the top when it gets too packed.
Yeah.
Like, people
those
at the top.
Those two skyboxes, I think.
And everyone in the crowd just kind of like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Watch me work.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to take you to a similar night. All right, it's August 13, 2010. It happens to be, a great dude's birthday that day. All right. I'll show it from my lens. It's two of my boys from Kendall.
Yeah.
two regular ass dudes that I've chilled with plenty at the time. And again, as a promoter that was like a lifer, right? Like I was all in the scene, Cameo, Mansion. You say these venues, it was like a surreal, different dimension, right? Like even just being allowed in the DJ booth in the beginning was like this life milestone, right? And this new generation doesn't understand that because maybe partying isn't as community, and driven as it was back then.
Yeah.
But I remember specifically, I'm in the first bar when you walk into Cameo, had that round bar. Then you had the VIP kind of and then the catwalk, and the DJ is like this spotlight in the middle of the room, which was a little bit of a transition phase too. Some rooms, the DJ was still off to the side as someone just working, providing music, and in other rooms they were Jesus himself, like. And Cameo was one of those rooms where the DJ was it. And no matter where you were standing, that's what you were looking at. And I remember seeing Paul E. and Henrix, which I think at the time you were still Pedro Enriquez, right?
I was, yeah.
Right? And you know, one had one hand, the other one had the other. It was like this surreal moment that, the goosebumps. So, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I think I know where this is. Two
of my boys are Swedish House Mafia tonight. Yeah. You know, I was envisioning that like masquerade ball, and you saw the same picture, and like I think he had a black leather jacket that wasn't leather because he would have died of sweat, right? Like I want to kind of just hear from your lens, how did that night play out? What did it mean to you? What you know, because this is the beginning. Again, you're still just Pedro Enriquez. There's no Hit It. There's no Tiësto and Steve Angello fighting for your track. Like, what is that process?
Surreal. I think every level of someone's career, there's going to be surreal moments, right? And because they're milestones.
Yes.
Right. And at that time, 2010, you know, Cameo, Mansion, DJing these clubs, it meant a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Right. It means that your name you're getting there, right? Or you at least got there in the Miami scene,
right?
Or whatnot.
Which might be the only thing you know at the time. Like,
exactly.
That is the first milestone to hit.
Yeah. So I think Paul had already done his own thing, like his birthday and stuff, and I think there was a year after that. It was Miami House Project,
right?
Yeah, and he had done it from before his birthday. But anyways, it was just an absolutely like amazing feeling, man. It's because, you know, you try to hit these milestones, and I always say you have to have goals in life, right? You have the ultimate goal or whatever it is, but you have to also have these smaller goals to get to that ultimate goal, and that was one of those goals, right? And at that point in time, to be completely honest with you, that was like a pretty high up goal.
Right.
Yeah. Because I guess my world was so, you know, like this, that seeing how much bigger it can be, I hadn't really absorbed that. Right. And yeah, that was just an insane moment.
I believe to this day it was the record on the most black labels sold.
Probably
at Cameo.
Hey,
Pedro drank it all.
Paul, didn't I have a situation there where like I drank too much in one of our?
I'll tell pre the booking, the Miami House Project at Cameo. We started a Facebook group called We Want Miami House Project.
Okay.
It was first Mansion.
You lobbied this thing.
We realized that was a little far-fetched, so we changed it to Cameo. It works. We got like the limit for pages back then was like 2,000, and we reached it.
Nice.
So we got a phone call. Carlos Correal.
Okay.
He's like, hey, you guys are making a lot of noise. Richie has mentioned it plenty of times, and I've told him no, because who the hell are you?
Right.
But it's come to our attention that you guys can pack the club. So when do you want it? And I was like, August 13th. It was my actual birthday, and he goes, hell yeah, let's do it. We were fucking talking to everyone. I think we celebrated, went to probably Flanagan's or something, right? And then we get a phone call. Hey,
just kidding.
Kind of. Yeah. It was like, you know, we don't know who you are. Richie does, but I don't. So we're gonna put you to open for Chocolate Puma.
Okay.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And that crushed us.
That destroyed.
We stopped promoting it. We deleted the We Want whatever, and we're just like, whatever, we'll open. And then like maybe like a month or two before the event, he calls me and he goes, we can tell you guys are discouraged. Ticket sales all of a sudden dropped. No one RSVP'd. We took Chocolate Puma out. You guys are the headliners. Bam. Table selling out. Like all of our friends. We were on Facebook, I think at the time was the social media. Like, yeah, fuck Chocolate Puma.
Yeah. I forgot about that, dude.
I still remember that because he asked me for flyers for a birthday thing for Ryan. Mm-hmm. And then that Chocolate Puma flyer popped up and I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh shit, that was supposed to be us.
I didn't know this.
We were bummed out, man.
It was like the worst because it was like, yo, we're DJing at Cameo. This is our step.
And everybody's already knowing that we're going to DJ. And how do we tell everybody this?
Right, yeah, we're DJing at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
No, they even posted it on the website, like headlining set MHB, and then it changed to.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That was
But it went good.
And again, most sold Black Label.
Yes.
Okay, so that day there was no. We were fine. We did great. We did say Mansion instead of Cameo on the microphone a
Nice.
lot.
That was me, that though, right?
No, he did it. I took the mic and then I said Mansion.
Oh, that's right. That's what it was. Yeah.
That was a fuck up, but it went well.
At least the same owners.
Exactly, right?
You know, it's not like
they were okay
like,
with it.
Shout out Liv. Yeah,
Yeah.
like fuck my life.
And we from there they
Liv,
started,
how you feeling?
Exactly.
Silence.
Imagine. It was people still cheered for us. So it didn't matter.
Yeah.
After that, they started like, okay, let's book you, you know, Groove Cruise, and when's your next Cameo date? And it was for his birthday, I believe.
Nice.
And obviously, he's gonna celebrate it a little bit too hard.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it there.
I don't remember. It was bad, dude. Like it was. I mean, I've had some situations. I had one in New York.
I put myself in these situations.
I had one in New York, man. That I forgot the name of the venue. It's a pretty big venue, and then look at me forgetting the name. Is it Governor's Ball?
The church.
Yeah, like the church looking one, right? I think it's Governor's Ball. I forgot what it was, man. But anyways, it was my first headlining show there, right?
I'm sure you don't.
It's like a
remember
theater
leaving, so.
type of thing there.
Yeah, you don't remember leaving anyway, so.
I don't. I literally don't. No, it got to that point. So I even had like a cousin from Brazil that was in New York that was going. So I started drinking from before even the event, right? I had a ton of people backstage. I'm already like hyped as it is. Like this venue is like massive, right? And I look
adrenaline plays a part here, right? Because
of course
you're pumping adrenaline. I mean, just how the human body works, right?
Yeah.
Alcohol goes in your bloodstream. Adrenaline makes your blood pump more. Your veins are opening up bigger. Means you're
absolutely
putting toxic.
and you can take more of it. Yeah.
Correct.
But I started drinking from before, which I never really do that. Like I wait until I'm on stage, right?
Sure. Yeah. Then you have
at that time I can drink a bottle of Black Label, but I'm on stage, and by the time I'm done, like I'll be drunk when I get like really bad if I get to the hotel. I think.
Right.
But here I started drinking from way before. Yeah. And towards the end, I'm DJing and the crowd is slammed to the end. Slammed. But I keep going, and then the venue after is like, okay, we allowed it to keep going, I think like an extra half an hour or something like that. But like we have to like close down now. Right? So they come to me and they're like, hey, we gotta shut down. So I'm just well, it's what my manager told me. Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. So I shut it down.
10 more
like everybody
tracks.
gotta go, whatever, yeah. So behind the DJ booth, because it's like a theater, it's a really big thing. So I start walking out with like all my people and everything. And then everyone in the crowd starts walking. And I was like, hold on. So I just go back into I'm like, nah, fuck this. Turn the music back on. I'm like, let's go, let's continue partying.
No shit.
Oh, dude.
The venue freaks out.
Oh, man. They were so mad. Because I think they couldn't go past a certain time.
I'm sure they're going to get a fine, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And they were so mad.
Noise fines.
I never got booked there again.
I can imagine.
No, I wake up the next day and, in my hotel, and I'm like, what the hell happened? And my manager's like, man, I just dropped you off in front of the hotel and told them to take you upstairs. And you were just destroyed. I'm like,
you're lucky we didn't have to carry you out of the fucking place to stop DJing.
I'm like, man. But luckily I didn't have many of these situations,
No, but they're learning situations as well, in life, not just in your career at that moment. So let's get your input on the scene today, right? The EDM scene from 2010s, I guess, is the time we're talking, has evolved a lot. Yeah, it's almost like a completely different industry, a much bigger one, in my opinion, right? But what is some of that transition from 2010s till today in the music scene from your lens, and where do you see it going from here?
So when I stopped, I know it's gonna sound crazy, but I completely stopped everything. When I say I went cold turkey, even industry stuff, I completely just stopped. Like
it didn't exist.
I took it out of my life completely. Nice. I didn't want to know what DJs were doing. I didn't want to know what was happening, who was the biggest DJ. I didn't want to know what songs were big. I didn't want to know anything. I started just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna go listen to hip hop again.
Okay.
Not that I stopped listening to hip hop. I still listen to hip hop, but
complete focus.
Yeah,
change.
Right? Change. And Kanye West has always been, even when I was making EDM, was probably one of my biggest inspirations as far as musically. People don't know that. I sampled so many of his like certain things on some of his tracks and stuff.
That's super sick.
Yeah, people don't know that. It's like hidden in there. But so I started listening back to like, hip hop again, or not again, but fully, because I wanted to get out of it. Like that's how much I got affected by it, right? But now, last few years I have been listening again, right? Yeah, it's blown up.
You can, right?
Yeah,
without,
I can,
without
right?
having that FOMO or that.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like these 7 years that I stopped, it helped me a lot. And even if I wanted to get back into DJing today or music production, which that's not my intention, I want to maybe start touching music again soon, but not to DJing like that.
Not as a career, more as as an art and a hobby.
Yeah, but it's gotten big. But I don't know if it's the golden era of dance music.
Okay.
I think the golden era of dance music was in the 2010s, the early 2010s, or right into the 2010s, right? Like right before when we started. I think at that time, 2006, after 2006 is when things started really picking up.
Right.
Right.
That's the year I graduated, so it makes sense in the trajectory of me going from ATN overs to the beach, and at that time is when house music was. It was
like I witnessed Daft Punk at Bang Festival. Paul, didn't you see like Steve Angelo or something like that walking around handing CDs out or something like that? Yeah, I think we saw.
That's crazy.
I forgot. So much happened that night.
That's before he opened for you.
I wish. But like the 2010s was that big. The Swedish House Mafia took over the world as far as EDM, right? Selling so many different like arenas. At that time, Madison Square Garden, like no dance music DJ was gonna.
Wild.
Now you have some dudes that do it.
I feel like that was the era that allowed it to go from a DJ or music to a performance.
Yeah.
And then you are actually now selling tickets, or in a consumer end, buying tickets to go see your favorite artist. It wasn't to go party at your favorite club or to go to your favorite festival. It was a performance trickle, which
you had a few before. I think you had guys like Tiësto,
sure,
right? You had guys like Eric Murillo, right? You had a few,
but even then, like Eric Murillo at Space, that would always be a huge thing.
Yeah.
But it was because it was at Space, I feel like, to locals, or at least to people like me that didn't care about the music scene. We were in the nightlife scene, right? And it was like, all right, Eric Murillo's gonna be there. It's gonna be a crazy night, but I'm not going this Saturday because Eric Murillo's there. I'm going because I go every Saturday, and I'm extremely excited to go this Saturday because I know that it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, you had those. You did have some people that would go for Eric Murillo, but you're right. People would just go to Space.
Where now, like, it's almost every booking I see is a performance like element, right? Like I work a lot with younger people through. I'm blessed to stay young through my line of work, and like even fresh 21-year-olds, that I connected through the alumni of Belen or whatever the case may be, and it's like they're literally going. I mean, you see it all the time. They'll pop up at a coffee shop. And there's 6,000 people at the coffee shop now at 1 p.m. It was like it has turned into a celebrity. Thing.
It is. And that's the evolution of social media, right? Marketing, branding. How are you going to be better than either this person or yourself a year ago?
Right. How are you gonna what's the difference to stand out?
Yeah, right. Because the thing is, we're in a time right now that anyone can be a DJ, can be an artist, can be anything they want because of the AI revolution.
Correct.
So AI slop is a real thing, right? Which basically is like you just throw anything out there and that AI is, made it or whatever it is. Now, I'm not against it though. Like a lot of artists are against it. I'm not because well, let me just correct that. Not that I'm not against it, I'm just not fighting it.
All right, you're leaning into it versus running away from it.
Because from the beginning of time, everything has always evolved, and someone's always going to be mad about something, right? Like,
sure.
Before, how would someone need to paint a picture of someone, right? In the 1800s, 1700s, way before, to remember that person. Then the camera comes out. Oh,
Painter's pissed.
Oh, painter's just pissed. What the hell? All you can do is develop it, and that's it, right? For DJs, you had people that didn't like CDs, right? Because they learned how to scratch or
vinyl DJs.
Yeah, the vinyl DJs, and even music production. FL Studios comes out, and people are like, oh, all you're doing is just plugging bleep, 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 bleep into the thing, and then you think you're making music. You're not actually playing an instrument. So, in my head, I'm like, yeah, I can be mad about it because you can sit there and say, I took so many years to do this, to create something, or not create, to learn how to create something.
There you go.
Right? And all of a sudden something comes in that can do it in just a matter of seconds with a prompt or something like that. Which in a way it is true.
Frustrating,
It's very
imagine.
frustrating, yeah. But we're entering an era now that if anyone can do it, how are you going to stand out? If everyone has the tools, then how are you going to stand out? Tastemakers are going to stand out.
Okay.
Right? Your taste in something is going to stand out. Because there is AI slop, right? You see it everywhere. But most of the time you can actually tell it's like the AI thing, right? Now, as an artist, how you can use AI, I'm not talking about creating your art, but branding, marketing, even like visuals with for pictures and stuff like that you can do. And I'm sitting here and telling you you're gonna rely on AI to create your art. Stuff like that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there's so many things that you can use it to put yourself above.
What do you use AI for? And not what do you use it for? Better question, I'm sorry. Let me reword that. How do you let AI help you versus relying on AI, if that makes sense?
Yeah, so I'll have a certain thing where I'll give an example of sort of my artistic side of it, right? If I'm creating something, I sketch it in Procreate or something like that, right? But maybe I have certain colors that I'm going with, right? I like this, okay. But if I maybe say, okay, but is there something that maybe a tone of this red can be a little bit, is it darker or lighter or something like that, right? Yeah, I mean, I can go and just mess with it, right?
Sure.
And do it, which I have. But I can also kind of get a picture or something, okay. This pink here, right? I can take a picture, kind of see, okay, is this the best tone of pink? Maybe I could try another pink here, right? I already know that I'm going to use that pink,
gotcha.
Right? But can I tweak a little bit? Yes. Someone's going to sit here and say, oh yeah, so why don't you just do it and try it out? Yeah, you're right, I could. But that also means that I'm going to waste paint
and time,
right, to get it there. Oh, but that's part of the creative process. Yeah, you're right. But we're living in a world where speed is such an important thing right now.
Mm-hmm. And right? I mean, and just hearing you explain it, you're going through the same process.
Yeah.
You're just doing it in a smarter way.
Yeah, and that's just the art. This is that's the art part, right? But then you have a whole other thing where you can help with branding. You can help with marketing, right? As long as you know how to ask it the right questions, and not just a specific teach me, show me this, or you have to.
I'm an artist. Give me my marketing.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way, right? And I'm actually starting now another company with a buddy of mine that's helping small businesses use AI to get leads and stuff like that, right? And do some maybe some branding, Too Much Art that I have, which is my art company. I actually want to take it to another level where I'm going to help companies brand. I'm starting, can't say too much, working with some clubs.
Okay.
Right. I'm doing videos and things like that, which is another thing that I've been venturing into videos, right? Which is the closest thing I've gotten to music. And
yeah. And I mean, majority of videos have an element of music in it, post-production.
That's actually, I picked the music first before I actually do the
nice,
video.
Okay.
But yeah, the AI thing is right now it's a situation where if someone's going to listen to me saying this and they're gonna be like, oh, he's not an artist, you know?
Sure.
Okay, cool, whatever. I don't care.
Well, when Serato came out years ago, you weren't a DJ if you used it. And now I don't know a DJ that doesn't use it.
Yeah, so, I'd never used Serato. I use USBs and CDs, right? But yeah, you're right.
That was a huge thing when it came out. You know?
And but people are always going to be mad about something. And here's what gets me upset is that there are so many talented artists out there that will refuse to use it. But I can guarantee you, a few years from now, they won't be able to do what they do without it.
Correct.
Right? Because eventually, tech makes you use things, right? The evolution of tech, the evolution of everything makes you use that specific thing because we can't control it because it's not up to us.
Well, I mean, and we're looking at a fair playing field. If everyone else is using it, you're at an extreme disadvantage.
So that's where I'm getting at, right? So what not irritates me, what gets me upset is that these artists they have such a beautiful mind, right? That they can use this tech and just stand out so much more than everybody else with the mind that they have, the artistic mind that they have, because taste, going back to it, is going to be the main thing because everybody's going to be able to do it.
I see a correlation here to like Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds era of baseball.
Yeah.
Those were the years that the most people used steroids in baseball because you had to compete. This guy's hitting 700 jacks a year and he's he's eating test for breakfast and you're on the egg white diet. You're not going to be able to compete.
You're not going to, yeah.
You know, and so everybody essentially, and then they had to tone down and kind of regulate more.
But the difference there is what you just said. You literally just said it. They had to tone it down. This is not going to be toned down.
Correct. It can't be toned down.
It's not going to. We're in too deep.
Yep.
Already, right? There might be some regulations coming in, right? But for you to just kind of completely just like, oh, I'm not going to touch that. You know, I get it. You're mad. I understand. It makes me mad too because you know how many years you spend, learning a craft. When I first started, even with my arts things, it was like YouTube videos. Okay, how do I do this and this that, right? Even like with Photoshop, because I to put things together. Like, how do I do this and this and that? Now it's just like, oh yeah,
do it for me,
right? But it's also not as easy as just like, let me just write a prompt, right? For you to get something right, to continuously do something. I edit my stuff, like the videos that you see me do. I don't know if you've seen some of the videos that I've done, right? I do use AI for some visuals on it, but like I actually edit the videos myself. So it's a lot of people
use it to make it better. You don't use it to create it.
Yeah. So like I get the images and then I build a storyboard around it, right? I did one for Sebastian Ingrosso's song.
That makes sense.
And he actually commented on it. He's like, yo, dope, but like sick. It was crazy. I didn't expect that for his new song. Yeah. And you build a storyboard around it. And once I get the visuals, and then I create what it's supposed to do, like what I want it to do.
I saw the one you made for, and I'm so terrible with names and I'm even worse with music. Someone that was like essentially a huge inspiration to you.
So Sebastian Ingrosso from Swedish House Mafia.
No, was it that or was it like a singer that like you grew up hearing his music and then you were I think going to his concert?
Yeah, it was Sebastian Ingrosso.
Was that? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting it all confused.
The Swedish House Mafia.
There you go. All right.
And he commented on it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, which is absolutely insane to me. I was not expecting that. Right. I tagged him on it, but I tagged him when I use someone's music. I tag him all the time. So that was a bit surreal. But yeah, so for going back to how like I do my process, like I'll create it, the visuals, and then it takes trial and error and getting certain things to move a certain way, and then I go and put it into where I do like Premiere Pro or CapCut to edit those videos, do the effects, build it just like I would build music, right? But I always pick the song before I actually build what I create, which goes back to being me by music, right? But it's actually very important, to be completely honest with you. I think that and Paul does video editing. I think that picking the music has to be the number one thing, because that gives you the vibe of things.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, you can't make something slow and inspirational and then you have some crazy dubstep song on it.
I have so many people sending me stuff to try to like, oh, can you check this out? And first of all, it doesn't fall into like certain beats, so it's not beat matched. And second, I'm like, look how fast your video is going, and look how slow the song that you picked. Everything has to match the song, the feeling. Because if you have a song from Adele, but someone is, breakdancing,
good luck.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? It doesn't match. So you still have to learn those things, right? I use it as a tool now for me to create, my videos and things like that.
So you're not running away from AI.
I'm not.
On the contrary, you're leaning into it.
But why?
Right.
I get it. I get why people are upset. Like I was upset too.
Does that tie into ego? Is the only reason you'd be mad at something like AI ego? Because if it's obvious that it helps, right?
It does, yeah. And I think that's one thing that is understandable why people are mad.
Right.
And I can understand why they are.
Right.
So yes, it is ego, but it's still understandable why. So it's not an ego thing where it's like, oh, I'm just, I'm better than you. It's just someone has spent years mastering their craft, and all of a sudden, little Timmy over there can come and almost do the same exact thing, right?
It could almost be a lack of respect towards the craft now too, because little Timmy doesn't know how hard it used to be.
Exactly.
All he knows is I can just learn this overnight and I'm an artist.
But the problem is that you got two options, man. Either you stay mad at it, or you just flow with it and then be better than little Timmy.
Right.
Evolve.
Show Timmy what 10 years of experience does.
Plus what he has.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Right. Like, so that's how I look at it.
Let's take, let me get your take on, you were Henrix when you were a DJ.
Yeah.
You're Henrix now.
Yeah.
What is Henrix to you? What does that name mean to you? Because it wasn't a stage name. It wasn't a production name. You're not doing that right now, and you're still at Henrix. So, what is it? Why keep it?
Hold on. Can you tell the story of how you got? Okay.
Yeah. I'm about to tell the story right now.
Paul cracked up out of nowhere.
So this is gonna come full circle with some other things here. So I got my name Henrix by accident.
Okay.
And the person that gave my name by accident was Tiësto.
Okay.
So,
oops.
Yeah. So I was still going by Pedro Henriquez, and Henrix, I'll get to that. So Pedro Henriquez, I sent one of my songs, or edits at the time I did, to Tiësto to play it on his radio show that he was playing, he was doing. And he actually played it. He played it.
This before you the Hit It situation? Or?
Yeah, this was before I Hit It. Yeah, I was still going by Pedro Henriquez. Yeah. So I changed my name to Henrix because after Hit It, and we'll get to that the branding part, but let's stay on track here. So I sent it to him, and he says my name on his radio show. He's like, "Oh, this is a new edit of Pedro Henrix." He didn't know how to pronounce Henriquez.
Okay.
Right. And it's funny because I went to Dubai a few years ago, and
I can see it.
Yeah, I went to I was in the lobby, and the person that was there was like, "Oh, this is Pedro Henrix." So it's not like just him. I think it's something like
Sure.
Yeah.
Language barrier. And not being able to read the acento.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I was just laughing at that, but we left it at that. I was still going by my real name. And then when Hit It came out, right? My manager at the time, Nima, which he taught me a lot about like branding, right, which is very important. Actually, I think works with Universal Group now still. But I learned a lot from him with marketing and branding and everything of how having a name, like a short name, is important, right? And we were struggling to find like what name am I going to use at that time, because he's like, dude, Pedro Henriquez, he's like, he goes, it's way too Mexican.
And lengthwise.
Yeah, and it's
I remember the cameo billboard. It was like the two letters on the end.
Exactly.
It was you and what was Fish's Roberto Cervantes.
Yeah.
Where the letters were like hanging off the edge, because it was just too long of a name.
Yeah, it's just too long. And, I've used it for so long that I'm like, oh, he's like, bro, you haven't even made a dent in the industry, dude. He's like, you haven't even started. Hit It is about to release now. He's like, that's when things are actually going to start. He was right. everything that I had done before wasn't really on a major scale.
Right.
I was known in Miami, but I wasn't known around the world.
And major to you.
Yeah. So, but I was like irritated because, man, I spent so many years on the Pedro Henriquez, and that's my real name too. You coming telling me that my name is not good, yeah. And it's just like he's like, and then he goes, "Oh, what if we just use like Enrique?" And I'm like Enrique Iglesias? He's like, yeah. And dude, no lie, I was we were already gonna start doing logos the next day for Enrique. No lie, okay, it was. And I'm in the car with a friend, and all of a sudden, he mentions to me the story of Tiësto. He goes, he's like, dude, you remember when Tiësto called you Pedro Henrix? And he started laughing. And I'm like, oh, snap. Like, Henrix, that's it. Boom. Called my manager at the time, like, yo, we got it.
Logo order.
And he's like, oh, crap, like, this is dope. He's like, and then the X, this goes back to branding, everything. Even the letters are important. Like everything you have to think of, it has to be very well, like Skrillex, right? He's like, Henrix. He's like, okay, we have here 5 letters as short, right? You have a nice X that we can do for the logo. And I was like, that's it. So, and the rest is history.
We know how the name came up.
Yeah.
Now what does it gravitate to becoming to you?
Yeah.
And why keep it?
So I thought about when I first started like doing the art thing, maybe just keeping my name, because a lot of artists, like painters, keep their name.
Yeah, it's
right?
the signature. It's like their signature.
But I learned so much throughout the years, how human emotion and how they look at things, right? As far as like visually, that I was like, I still like the Henrix brand.
Right.
Even though I let go of it for music. I think I personally love the name, right? Not because it's my name, because I could have easily just used something else.
Right.
I just think it's short, sweet. The X, how it presents itself. I can
and aesthetically, right? To
aesthetically,
the eye,
yeah. And I was like, I think I'm just gonna like go with it, and go from there. Instead of like now Henrix Music is be Henrix Art.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So it did change a little bit in that sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, for my Instagram, but in the end, like I still sign everything as like as Henrix, like Picasso wasn't known. He was known as Pablo Picasso, but like everyone, when you see Picasso, no one really says Pablo Picasso,
right? And especially if you're not in that world.
Yeah,
I am calling him Picasso. Correct.
Right. Correct. So, I think that's a very big thing, and I think that's something that people that want to get in any form of artistic industry, if it's music, if it's art, even actors have changed their name, right? Branding yourself is very important, and marketing yourself is very important, and building a story around you is very important. We're in an era that also goes back to the AI thing, that anyone has the tools. How are you telling a story? How are you building it? If you go to my Instagram right now, maybe you haven't even paid mind to it. Or if you go right now, go take a look at my last maybe 10 posts or so. Go see what color is the main color that's used on everything. It's red.
Okay.
Look what I'm wearing right now.
Okay.
Red. You see?
Yeah.
You probably didn't catch that.
Brand.
You probably didn't catch that. But it is something that's important, because someone goes on your page and they see something, okay, this is...
association.
Yeah. And I started, like when I started again, I wasn't like, I guess it wasn't fresh at the time. It took me a little while to really start getting back into that, the business side of things and how important it is for an artist to be business savvy. And some people are just not business savvy, and that's fine. Find someone that can do for you, as long as they're not screwing you over. Know at least the minimum to know that if somebody's screwing you over. Okay. Right?
Understand it.
Yeah.
You don't have to know it. You just
you don't have to be the brain behind it. If you want to find a manager that can be the brain behind it, but as long as you know that you can trust that person and they're not doing you dirty, right? And if they are doing you dirty, you can see it right there.
Catch
and
it.
Yeah.
And because
know at least that.
It's still a business.
Yeah.
So people will be out there looking for it.
Yeah, you just understand that.
You mentioned too much art. I've heard you say it. I've seen him post certain things. What is it?
Great question. So Too Much Art, I started it in 2018, actually, where it was an idea where at the time I wanted to get into fashion,
Okay.
which is still kind of going into that, like getting out of music, but still being artistic, right?
Okay.
And then I started like designing certain things by myself. And the reason I spelled Too Much Art with TWO instead of TOO is because of my two forms of art.
Okay.
Right. Where at the time, and now it's this and music, which is the fashion thing. One day I hope to.
We might change it to 3.
Yeah. But you can also say, oh, this is like too much, right? Like, because you have so much different art forms, right? So it's a play on words, right? But at the time it was too much. It was 2 different art forms that I had: music, and fashion. Really, it would be now music and like my art thing. So two,
Okay.
right? 2 different forms of art. But also, like, there's never too much art. There's never going to be too much art. Art is everywhere. Art is everywhere.
Art is everything almost.
Everything.
Depending on what you look like, right?
Everything. Yeah. And never going to be, in my opinion, too much.
Why start it? Because you're Henrix. You already have an art brand, right? So why?
It was more of like a like my storefront type of thing.
Okay.
I guess think of it as in Jay-Z had Rockefeller.
All right. So if it was the music industry, this would be your record label.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And what's the goal with it?
The goal
Because
is,
I know that you're not going to create something just to have a company-based logo behind you, right? So what's the purpose behind the collective or group or not group, platform?
So the goal for me initially was, of course, is to have my storefront for it, right? But I do want to build it into something bigger. I wanted to build it into something, culturally, how do I even say it? Like relevant. I want to be able to eventually have help other artists out. Maybe have some artists that will be featured on Too Much Art, right? And one of the main things I'd love to do is like a creative agency with Too Much Art, right? Where I can help artists brand. I can help artists build their socials.
Do you see it as an artist management, or do you see it as just a creative outlet or element of the management?
A bit of both.
Okay.
I think that eventually, if it grows big enough, then I would have that like artist management side of it. But I think it would be in the beginning to kind of like help creatives get themselves out there.
Okay.
Right. And if it's either through using the AI as a platform, way to get there, or their creative side of using other things and doing other ways, like it's just a matter of like being a tastemaker, right? What are you posting on your Instagram, right? And I know this sounds terrible. Some people are gonna be like, oh, but I just want to post my art, and it doesn't work that way.
Correct.
Fortunately, it does not work that way.
It's still a business at the end of the day, or a community at bare minimum. If you don't want to make money from it, whatever. But there's some type of rules.
There is, and we don't make those rules, and that's the problem, right? We don't make it, so you have to follow those rules to get to where you're at, right? And it doesn't happen overnight. That's number one, right? It takes some time. I started, my first time I did put anything on a canvas was April 1st of 2023.
Okay.
So about 2.5 years or so, or 2.5, yeah. But I feel like in those 2.5 years.
My bad to cut you off, but how long after the sketch in bed that day was that?
About a month or so.
Okay, cool.
Because what I did after that sketch is that I took about, I think it was exactly 3 weeks of not touching anything on a canvas, but just learning everything on YouTube, taking all the information I could, everything, and learning all the techniques until the first time I put something on canvas, and I just completely destroyed it. But,
did you know what was going on the canvas, or you let the process guide you, or you went over there with an intent?
So my first official, like, I guess you want to call it painting, that I still have, I will never sell this one.
No, from what you're describing, no one would buy it.
No, but it's actually, look, believe it or not, it's actually a picture of like a LeBron James picture that I did art around the picture.
Okay.
And I have it hanging on my wall.
Cool.
But I have it hanging on my wall because it's beautiful, because it's terrible. But it's more to show myself, like, this is where I started here.
This is a starting point.
Yeah. This is where I started. And then I look to see what I'm doing, right? And how much it's changed.
Shit, how did I get here?
Yeah, exactly, right? It's also humbled me.
Okay.
Right? To, you know, I need to be humble sometimes. Everyone does, right?
And you now know from previous roller coaster rides what ego and
Exactly.
non-humbling can get you to, and how, you know, that always has to be in some type of control, and going with age too, right?
Absolutely,
You're a lot
man.
wiser now to be able
Oh,
to
yeah.
catch the signs and go, wait, whoa.
Man, before I used to get so mad about certain things. Now I'm just like,
Give up.
bro, I get sometimes haters on my thing, on some comments or something. I'm just like, okay, bro. And I troll them back, but I'm like, it's just, I don't get mad about anything anymore.
Yep.
There was so many things I used to get so pissed off about, man, at the time. And I went to my Twitter, which I deleted everything from my Henrix music thing. And I read back about certain things. I'm like, man, what was I saying at the time? I was like an angry person.
Right. Or how would I let someone affect me to a point that would get me this angry?
Yeah.
I'm the same way, by the way. I'm not speaking from an outside lens here. 1,000% I understand what you're saying. The only thing I haven't been able to shake off, and I learned on the episode earlier this week, is that I have road rage. But fuck it. We live in Miami. You almost need it to survive down here, you know?
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's like ingrained.
It's ingrained,
like
bro.
taught in school. Okay, so.
Yeah. How to not use your blinkers.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a Miami thing. I mean, I when I moved to Vegas a couple years, that was the number one thing that I had to learn, was like how to not drive like a Miamian.
Yeah.
Because you're an asshole out there if you don't use your blinkers. Like if you honk, it must be because someone's about to crash or die, right? Like not just because the light just turned green.
Wasn't there like a study that said that Miami's like the worst place to drive or something like that? Like
I don't know, but I would believe it. You know? And so I had these stages where I'd be over there 3 months, and then I would come down, and bro, nobody would let me in. Like, oh fuck, I gotta stop using the blinker. You know, the middle finger has to be used a couple times. You know, like, I said, nah, you're just not gonna get there. And then same thing reverse. I go back to Vegas after being here for a month or two, and then it's like, oh, chill. I'm being the asshole. Like, you had to catch yourself and figure it out. So,
man.
all right. So you're obvious. It's obvious to me, and I think to anybody that hears your story, that you've always been art driven.
Yeah.
And you know, the form of art may have changed, but it's all naturally art. We haven't touched on what is art then. And in this case, you know, what is art to you? What does it mean to you? Why is this so important, you know?
I think art is everything. That sounds cliche, right?
Sure.
But I mean, it literally is everything. If you do believe in a God, we go back to that, right? The creation. Literally, the creation. You're creating, right? And anything that someone creates can be a form of art. Now, you're gonna have some artists that can say no, argue that just because someone goes on a canvas and just splatters some paint like a 2-year-old and does some abstract stuff, it's not really art. Okay, cool. To you, it's not. Maybe to that person, it is. But that doesn't mean that every single form of art is nice.
Okay.
You get me?
There's good art and there's bad art, but it's still art.
It's
right?
What you're... Because the thing is, it's all perception, right? It's how someone looks at something, right? You know, you have a woman that does maybe a ton of like plastic surgery, and some guy may like it, but then some other guy says like, oh,
too much.
That's but then they say that surgeon did made her into that, right? And it's a form of art. So like everything, right, is for me is a form of art, and I think that it's very important for the that people that can create to create.
Okay.
Right. You need to show the world what you can do. You shouldn't hold anything in, because your ideas might be that idea that can like change. I think Tupac says something like that, or could spark and change the world, or something like that.
Okay.
So so it's important and it's right. If you feel like a creative person, hey, put it out there, man. Put it out there, because you may think it's not good, but someone else might.
Sometimes it may not be good, that layer of it, but then it inspires somebody to do something that they hadn't thought of, and what that output was good. Yeah. So in default, then it makes the beginning layer good because it created something that's good or better.
I've had people tell me, hey, I got an idea for something. Like, what do you think of this? They tell me the idea. I'm like, that's actually pretty good. But they can't execute it because they never tried to.
Sure.
Because you never tried, right?
I have tried, Let me tell you.
The thing is, and people are
Painting's not for me.
well, people come to me and say, "Oh, it's like you have this like this artistic talent or whatnot." I'm like, I didn't. If you look at my LeBron James things, I didn't have that talent. I didn't. I mean,
Did you say you had the skill and you just had to learn how to execute the
but
skill?
I think everyone can learn though.
Because, bro, like, look, let's take 30 seconds. This is as far as I got in Mr. Font's art class in my high school. Okay. Don't show Henrix. This is what I got, dude. I'm a stick figure guy.
I'm gonna tell you something right now.
Anything beyond, and the shoes,
let's
I
take
can't
this
do
right
the
here.
shoes.
Let's take this right here. I guarantee you that if you sit here today and you try to recreate this visually 100 times, you will get better every single time.
The 100th definitely will be better than the first.
Yes.
It still won't be this.
But you might nail it on the 150th.
Okay.
But you will get it. Anything in life, as long as you repeat it and do it and do it and do it and do it, you'll get there. You'll get it.
So is practice a form of art?
Absolutely. You have to practice. Anything that you do, you have to practice. You have to. And you can even argue, people are like, oh, like even AI prompting, like, that's so easy. Yeah, go try to just put a prompt to create this there.
Yeah, you got to
Not really, but I guarantee you there's going to be somebody out there that's going to prompt it correctly and it's probably going to recreate this. But they tried 1,000 times to get to that. You get me?
Or failed 1,000 times to understand how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah,
okay.
So,
and in a form of we're going to still speak about art as a definition.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a lot, obviously art is storytelling, right? But I've heard this therapeutic outlet used a lot when it comes to art, right? It's therapy. It's you know, what is that true? To you, right? And if so, right, which it is, why? Or what, you know, what talk to us, I guess, about that process from your lens, right? How is it therapeutic to you?
Because it's you and your thoughts.
Okay.
It's you and your thoughts. That's what it is. I can sit there for 6 hours painting something, and my wife will come in and be like, "Are you not tired?" I'm like, "Yeah."
A little bit.
Yeah, but, you know, I'm listening. So I go through different stages when I'm painting.
Okay.
Right? I have listen to some hip hop, put some Eminem,
Nice.
I'll put some Kanye, some Jay-Z, or some old school 2000s stuff. Then I have the stage of EDM.
Okay.
Okay. I have the stage of indie music.
Okay.
Classical music.
Okay.
And then I have the stage of silence.
Okay. And this is one session per se.
Yeah, it could be one session, depending on how long the session is.
Got it.
Right. If it's a shorter session, then it'll probably just be one, maybe two different things, or sometimes just silence. I have to have the silence part of it because, and not that the music is not therapeutic, it is 100% therapeutic. But just silencing everything around you and being able to focus on something, right? And just you and your thought and focusing on that. It takes you to a place, right? That gets you calm. It can take you to a place that gets you very upset because maybe if you're thinking of something that you're not happy with.
Yeah, sure.
Right? But every form of art can take you to different things. It can be therapeutic, but it can also be very draining on someone. Which you see a lot of artists that have died throughout the years because things like that, because their mind just goes through very deep and dark places. Luckily, I'm not in that dark place anymore in my life.
Yes, but it's helped you get out of it.
Yeah. It's definitely helped.
It's been part of that process.
And this helps me with that, with just being me, just me and my thoughts.
So I definitely cannot do anything beyond the stick figure, right? I've tried, trust me. You think your LeBron thing is bad? I got a nice little canvas that's under the bed. It's not even on a wall. Didn't try after that again. Maybe I try another 100. We'll get to LeBron.
Yeah.
But what you're describing, and especially with the types of music and stuff, the more I sit with artists, right? Edgar, the one I sat with earlier this week, more live music. He kind of got me to understand from his perspective when he was describing things that like I'm a little bit of an artist just without the art. And maybe now, based on your conversation, I'm seeing everything as art. So maybe I'm just not looking at it as an artistic process. But for example, and I won't use like a business plan, but like an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know what? We have a booking agency. We've been doing well for X amount of years. Why don't we start a DJ academy to kind of create our own next wave of talent?
Yep.
And then I sit down, and the process you just described, I went through for Soundwell DJ Academy, right? And even the genres of music, with the exception of maybe EDM, that's more of just my gym stuff. I start with Kanye albums, and I'll still go to YouTube and put full album on purpose because it'll take me to 17-year-old B Money in the RSX jamming to Mobb Deep, America's Nightmares, or this or that, and it gets my mind into this sense where I'm creating Soundwell DJ Academy.
Yeah.
But I'm putting, what do I want it to look like publicly? What's the purpose of it? I'm not figuring out what palettes, what texture, where am I, it's on a note at the end of the day, right? That's my canvas. But then I go through that process and I'll go into a little more.
The creative process. That's all the creative process.
You were talking and I was.
Yeah.
I go through that process almost every Sunday.
Yeah.
It's my time to disconnect. My girl goes to Pilates. I have the house to myself. It's quiet. And
I'm gonna tell you something. I text you on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed you didn't text me back.
Yes.
And the first thing that I thought when you didn't text me back on a Sunday was that's probably his day that he takes, that he disconnects from everything. And now here you are telling me that you're disconnecting. Swear to God. I swear to God.
Yep.
That's exactly what my mind went through.
That is my day where I don't go to the gym. I go running instead.
Yeah.
It's all.
You text me on Monday morning.
Mental driven, bro.
Yeah.
And I'll finalize my week. Like I'm just a note nerd on Sundays. And then I have my sushi Sundays with my girl, and it becomes more family based, but that's also part of disconnecting. Because during the week it's go, 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 go. So some of that kind of lacks, in the process. But that's funny that you notice it, and thank you for not texting 4 more times after that. Because some people
I catch these things, man, because like we're creatures of habits, right? That's just the way humans are. And understanding that sometimes people need to disconnect is very important. And not just that people need to disconnect, that you need to disconnect.
Yes.
Right? And I think I even find it hard sometimes for that myself, that I need to disconnect from things sometimes. Like my wife sometimes tells me like, you just are nonstop.
You're too in.
Like you're nonstop. Like how do you even do it? Like I'll wake up in the middle of the night, like at 3 a.m. Now with the baby, no, but before, like no, it's not even lying, 2, 3 in.
I laugh
and just like I have to go paint something. Like I have an idea, and she's like, "You're just batshit crazy, right?"
Define crazy.
Yeah, but it is what it is. You need to disconnect.
I can't go to sleep if I'm thinking of something without at least writing a few words that will get me to think of that tomorrow.
Yeah.
I open my note, drives my girl crazy because we sleep with our little 9-pound dog. And then, of course, the minute I move, he goes ape shit because it's actually his house. I just live in it. But I got, because if not, I cannot go to sleep. I will constantly be trying to remind myself not to forget that thing that I want to dive into.
If I go to sleep like that, because I have plenty of times, I'll dream about it the whole night.
No shit.
Yeah. I used to make music. At some point, when I used to make music, I at some point I had to tell myself I have to stop at least 2 hours before going to sleep, because I'd be writing a melody for it all day and changing it around, and if I don't give myself that time to disconnect from that, I would dream about that goddamn melody the whole night.
You wake up, you have a completely different song in your head.
No, and the thing is, you wake up the next day and you've worked on it so much that you thought it was an amazing thing.
Right.
And it really was not that amazing.
Right.
So you not only just wasted time, you wasted sleep, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, brain capacity, the bandwidth, the whole nine.
Yeah, it's important to disconnect. And right. I mean, that's my form, with painting, disconnecting from the world.
And putting it out on an outlet. So
yeah.
One thing I don't get to do often, and I think you've touched a lot on it, so I'm going to dive into it a little bit, is, yes, you're an artist. And, I'm sure you've heard that if you're an artist, you use one side of the brain, and then people like me that are more like OCD on more of like the execution side or whatever, non-artist side, right? And it's but you're describing that you're an artist, but you're an entrepreneur at the end of the day, right? You're conscious of marketing, of branding, of a business plan, because you clearly laid out that it's like you need to know your top goal, and then you need to break down your your stones or whatever you want to call them, right? 90-day rocks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. For someone that maybe inspired in art and only has that art side of the thought process, what are some tips, or what are some things that maybe artists don't think of that they need to succeed, right? That like it's not negotiable. You need to look at it as a business, or you need to look at it as a bigger plan, or yes, a blank canvas and let it out is great, but then figure out maybe what we're doing and why we're doing it. Like, what is that process to someone that might not be familiar with it? What can they learn on this?
I think the most important thing of if you don't like the branding, the social media, the business side of it, is that you have to try to make it in a way where it almost feels like you're doing a whole different art form.
Okay.
Right? Because you have your painting, just for the sake of this, or your music, or whatever it is, that's your art form. Try to make those other things into an art form. If you look at my social media now, what I've been trying to do is like the aesthetics of it, right? Like even like certain pictures of learn how to edit.
Okay.
Right? Learn how to edit pictures. Learn Photoshop, right? I know it's like, oh my God, but I have to learn this. Oh, yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you just want to create that, that's fine, cool. But if you're really trying to take something to a whole nother level, learn that. Learn the business side of certain things, right? Of whatever industry you're in. What are they looking for, right? Now, maybe there's certain people that might not be looking for what you're looking for. Don't sacrifice what you're trying to become, right? To cater to some business, or let's call it this a certain gallery or something, or a record label. I went through that, man. That's one of the shittiest situations you can be in, is you trying to be someone and someone else is trying to like push you away from that, right? So learn the business side of it, and where you can do what you want, still, brand yourself a certain way, right? My branding is, in my opinion, completely different from the art world.
Okay.
Like, I think that
you say that has helped you probably?
I mean, as of right now,
sure.
I think it has. But I'm doing it my way this time. This time around, I'm doing it my way. When I started it, I said, I'm gonna do it my way. Like, I don't care if I don't become the biggest artist in the world, I'm completely okay with that, as long as I do it my way. Right?
And you're referencing to the fact of not being able to do it your way with the music.
Yeah.
It got to that
where
point.
It got to that point.
Right. So you don't want it to get to that point ever again.
It got depressing.
Sure.
I didn't want to get to that point.
Sure.
Right? Not only the traveling, but also like what I was trying to be forced to do. Right. Don't let it get to that, because it's what's gonna happen. What happened to me can probably happen to that person that's trying to make this their thing. Right. I made it my thing. I got it, and then I let it go.
Right. I almost ran away from it.
I did.
Yeah.
No, not even almost. I did.
Yeah. Full speed.
yeah. Got the hell out of there. Because it became like too much, right?
Too much.
Yeah. And then, so I guess for the person that's starting, do what you want, but learn the business side of it, or at least the bare minimum. And also, and I keep going back to this, and this is such an important thing. Brand yourself, man. Brand yourself correctly, from the name. I'm not saying if you want to use your full name, cool, that's fine.
Sure.
But brand yourself, get a nice logo, right? Look at your social media. How are the aesthetics of your social media? How do you want it to be, right? What are you looking for? Go to other artists that are successful.
Yes.
Right? And that you want to do the same thing. Like, I pointed him out, my buddy Jason Skeldon in Tampa. When I first started, like, I would stalk his page. I told him, like, if he sees this, he's probably gonna laugh. But I would stalk his page and be like, yo, this is how I like it. He's like a rock star, and he's an artist though. Yeah, like, he does pop art and stuff like that. But like, I was like, damn, this guy's dope.
It's a brand.
He's not the typical, Or you look at like an Alec Monopoly, right? Alec Monopoly's a DJ now too, but like his whole style,
sure,
right?
Yeah, he's a walking brand.
Yeah, he's a walking brand, right? And that's so important.
Which allows you not to be overlooked or forgotten, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right? That's what a brand is, something that's recognizable.
When they see you, do they know who you are or what your brand is? Right?
Right.
That's important. And like, what do they know your story? Right? Like Nike. Like Nike is known for their stories of, overcoming things, right? And just do it.
Just do it.
Right? They brand themselves, and they have not stopped branding themselves like that since they started. Right?
Great.
Like since they started. That's how they always branded themselves. And that's how, they're still one of
What challenges come with this? Being the entrepreneur artist. Is there in the creative process, does it hinder sometimes? Does it,
There's a lot of challenges that come with it because and I find myself doing that sometimes. Things like I like a certain thing, but as artists, you like multiple things, right?
Right.
You may have a certain thing that you do, but you may like certain other things too. So you come across someone else that's doing something and you're like, this is kind of cool,
Yes.
but that's not in your brand though,
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and I think that's the hardest thing. Or what you can do is that, okay, this person's doing this, but how can I get that and put it into my brand? And you're not actually really copying them because you're stealing like an artist, right?
Which if you do not understand your brand, then you actually can't do that because you have no way to bring it to you. You're too scattered of a thing versus a one brand that is known for numerous things.
I struggle with that even with my art, man, because like sometimes like I like doing like this more surreal things. This style of art is it's called like surreal cubism.
Okay.
Person who started it is George Condo, which he did the My Beautiful Twisted Fantasy with Kanye's album cover.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And he, like the style, actually, this was inspired by that.
Okay.
Different, because he had a ballerina, but completely different. But this one was inspired by that.
To your
Yeah, I have no problem telling people that, right?
Inspired by, but then done differently.
Done differently, right?
Correct.
The ballerina looked completely
And I
different.
see the red on brand.
Yeah, there you go. So this is like an elf ballerina girl, and she's holding a balloon, right? So it's different from his. But my inspiration for it was that, right? I have no problem telling people that. Artists get inspired by others all the time, right? But do it your own way. And I guess, for someone that's starting, just learn that. And that process, just so you know, of learning who you are is not going to happen overnight.
I feel like it never stops.
It never does. It doesn't.
Because if we're evolving as humans and you're learning who you are today and you're different tomorrow, then you're constantly in that
I did a post. I'm going to read it to you here the other day.
Nice.
And the post is this. It's on my
You're
Instagram.
full of goosebumps right now.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So it says, labels control you, reinvention frees you.
Okay.
Okay. Know that reinvention is very important. Never let someone tell you that they know you. Keep your brand, but if you don't reinvent yourself, eventually people are just going to say, oh, this is this person, this is what it is. And you're labeled as just that. And one of the things that I tried to free myself also from the music thing is that, oh, he was the ex-DJ, right? No, now I'm the artist, right? And I'm constantly trying to evolve as an artist, right? Constantly. You need to reinvent yourself. And the perfect example of this, even though eventually it got to a really big extreme that wasn't that great, is Kanye West.
Okay, you're right. He went too far.
Yeah, last few years, that reinvention got a little too much with things you said. But if you look at Kanye, and if you actually break down his career, he is constantly reinventing himself. And this is why he's constantly, still a massive artist. And I think that if he didn't go haywire in the last few years,
he'd still be
that guy, and to a certain degree, he still kind of is that guy. Like, as much as he has messed up with stuff that he has said that I don't agree with, to some people, he's still that guy. He can drop a merch and sell it completely, right?
I mean, look at the Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
Who else is doing something like that?
That's what I'm saying. So like you reinvent yourself always, consistently, always. You know, because and then people just become, oh, this is the same thing over and over again.
We were talking about the entrepreneur challenge in that sense. Does Miami come with any challenges in the art world?
I don't know.
I ask because I love this city, but I don't know it to have a huge art scene. And recently, yes, more and more artists have kind of come from here.
There are a lot of artists here.
Does that become a good thing or a bad thing, right? The fact that like maybe it's not known for an art scene, you could stand out better. Where if you went to, you know, an
but I
art
mean,
city,
the thing is, if you don't have an art scene, then who are you standing out for?
Okay.
Right? It's kind of like saying like, okay, you're the only DJ in like
Iowa.
Yeah, in Iowa, right?
Sure.
Are you really standing out in Iowa?
Right.
Yeah, maybe Iowa knows you, some people in Iowa because you DJed at the bar.
Right.
But like, I think that the more artists, the better, because you have more art out there for people to see, and then you know, have things around the street that people are doing. You know, murals, Wynwood over there. So I think it's an important thing. But as far as like a competition or something, I don't look at that, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I know this may sound like, oh yeah, like he probably does.
Everybody does.
Yeah. Like, I try not to, because when I was DJing, like you're always trying to one up someone, right? And trying to be like, oh, what can I do to be better? Like not that I was never happy for people. I'm always gonna be happy for someone if they have a big record that comes out or anything like that. But when it comes to trying to compete against someone, maybe it can be healthy in certain things, right? Because it pushes you. But I feel like what pushes you more is how can you, if you compete with yourself.
Okay, sure.
Right, and that goes back into reinvention. Right? How are you going to reinvent yourself now? Right? What are you going to do to change what you just did, or tweak it, right, to make it better?
You said this was cubism.
So it's surreal cubism.
Surreal cubism.
Yeah.
All right. When I searched you up, I'm like fucking searching. I'm like, trust me, I know this guy better than the internet. You know what I mean? Like, but let's see what it says. Future expressionism.
Yeah.
Is this a thing that came up often when I saw? I didn't know what the hell it was. Is this something you created?
It is.
And what is it?
Well, to a certain extent, it was what I created, right? So it's a...
No, we just learned it. Does anybody really create anything, right?
Yeah. So the term is called everything is a remix.
Okay, there you go.
Everything's a remix. Everything in this world is a remix. From this chair, you know, to art, so everything's a remix. But
if you're a religious guy, is God the original producer?
He's probably,
right? Like,
he's the only one that's the original. Yeah, but everything in the actual world, everything's a remix.
Nice. All right, so future expressionism. What is...
So future expressionism is...
the OG.
Yeah. It was, so expressionism art is, it kind of started around the 70s, I think it was the 70s, 80s. It really took off in the 80s with Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Okay.
Right? He was have you ever seen some really weird art that's like, looks like,
I know the name,
like
so for
demonic
sure
or something. It's not demonic at all. It's just like expressionism that you're just kind of like almost childlike, words and stuff like that.
Okay.
And
chaotic.
Yeah, very chaotic. Yeah, and with some abstract. Nothing is like lines, nice lines or anything like that. He was massive in the 80s. He died of an overdose at 23, something like that. Wow. But to this day, he is, you know, one of the biggest artists ever. And he really got expressionism art and took it to a level where everyone's like, oh, okay, this is dope.
Nothing.
Yeah, right. And so then you had the Keith Harings.
Okay.
Right. Keith was more like cartoonish, right? It was still in the expressionism era. And when I first started future expressionism, it was more of like kind of putting that era to all the kind of in one and kind of creating something my own way, but more futuristic.
Okay.
Right. So I was like, oh, future expressionism.
And you're technically in the future from when that was, right?
Exactly. So that's exactly what was my, you know, my thought process behind it. So I coined it. And this recently, it's like a surreal cubism, but I try to do it in my own way to fit it in that realm of the future expressionism.
What about it would you say touches into that so that you can kind of...
When I first started, it was like a lot of patterns. So I do seasons, right? Season 1 and season 2. And season 1 was last year on Basel, and the season 2 was recently. I did a whole thing of the Met Gala.
All right.
So it's almost like its own series. It is its own series. And every season, right, I try to do something a little bit different.
Henrix art being the show.
Yeah, so Henrix is
Right, so
I'm the artist.
Season 2 of Henrix art.
Yeah, and
very cool.
You know, future expressionism, and then I have the sub of it, right, which is season 2 was the Met Gala. So it was like a bunch of I got a bunch of pictures of the people who have the Met Galas.
Okay.
The dresses. I did, like, Cardi B did one that was pretty dope. That everyone was like going crazy over it. And I make it in my
fabric.
Yeah, it was massive. And I created my own way of it, right? And yeah, I mean, I try to just do my own thing, but still kind of have a expressionism style from other artists that came before me. Okay. Right? But try to do it in my own way.
Very cool.
Yeah, yeah. So here, like the patterns over here, you know, like the square there. Cubism is more cube style, but this one has more rounded things.
Yeah, the only real cube here is, I guess, is the square.
Yeah, yeah, and
so,
like here, like that, you know.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the process, because you described it. So let's use this as a reference. What was the hip hop stage, and where did the EDM come in?
So you know, I try to you know, I'm always looking either like at reference images and different things, and like I'll get real people, and also I'll get like maybe cartoons. Okay. Right, cartoon faces. I've been exploring a lot of cartoon faces from like the 30s, 1930s.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, and 1950s also. And then what I'll start doing is that like on like I'll get like a real human, and this is something that sometimes there's a thing called the Midjourney for AI. And what I'll do is that I'll just get, if I like how the form of whatever image is, I'll just get the outline of that human or picture, if you want to call it. I mean, I can easily just do a picture of someone, you know.
It'd be what, like almost a silhouette?
Silhouette.
All right.
That's a perfect word. Yeah.
I'm an artist. What do you think?
So like I'll get that, and then that will be like a base, right? And I'll black it out. Okay. And I'll start building around it. Like, okay, so the cartoon this, I mean, here the cheeks, right? Let's do some circles. Let's do this, and then I do it on put on Procreate or Photoshop, and then it's just a matter of, you know, trial, error, taking things out, different colors. I used to do a lot of patterns inside the faces and the hair, but everything is a bit different.
You don't touch this canvas until that whole process.
Yeah.
Right?
I built it before, yeah.
Okay. And then you have this is it, and then you come and you put it.
And I put it on the canvas, yeah.
That's so interesting to me.
Yeah. So not every artist does that. Some people like doing it right there on the spot. Cool, that's fine. I like having my...
You know, something that I can see as a negative of that approach is like, let's say this eye was perfect, and then you wanted to change the color of the shadow under his eyebrow. There's a good chance that you might fuck up the perfect eye.
Oh yeah.
Right? And now you know, you're kind of making your creation worse, and now you got to go and fix it. And sometimes fixing something doesn't come out as good as when you first got it.
And some artists might even argue and tell you this, like, oh, but that's part of the process, right?
Sure.
You're right. And if you like that,
yeah, it doesn't sound smart to someone like not using my artistic brain, right?
Yeah.
Using more of a rational
Yeah,
brain.
exactly. But if you want to do that, that's fine, because that's how you create certain things, right? Not everyone's the same.
Right, right.
I don't think there's a wrong or right way of doing certain things, right?
But I will say, I think there's an easy or hard way.
That's for sure.
You know, and artists are gonna hate me. I got this fucking guy. He only sees world.
I'm sure that
lens,
people are gonna
like.
I think hate me too. Perfect example is like AI telling you like, okay, like so, like I'll give you an example, like the shade of pink, right? Should I make it darker, right? Should I make it lighter? You know, there's you can actually literally ask it and say like, what do you think? Like,
what do you think, bud?
Yeah, and then oh no, maybe a little shade lighter. Okay. So then the artist will come to me and say, oh, but why don't you just do that yourself, man? You're right. Sure. I could have.
Yeah. But 100%. You may also not own 947 shades of pink that AI has.
Yeah. You know,
like,
and I could have, it's part of the process, I guess, but I'd rather me do something faster. Like right now, I'm pressed for time. I just signed to a major gallery and I give them all my art.
Yeah, no, when I replied on Monday to your text from Sunday, you were like, I don't even know if I'm going to have anything.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
I have to do like 12 to 14 pieces by Basel, which is like less than a month.
Yeah.
I have four or five ready or so in the matter of like a week or two.
That's wild.
Right? But so I'm not sitting here, okay, yeah, but someone's gonna get mad at me and say, oh yeah, but you're just like asking it. No, I'm making my life a lot easier when I need time.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Or 3 days of shading pink.
Yeah.
You
get me?
I'm gonna guess too, eventually they all start looking the same. If you went through that process, it's like.
Here's a perfect example when I was wrong though. And I did it myself. I had this as a red nose before, like a clown. Just yesterday I changed it. Right? The nose. It was red. But this was something that I was like, oh, like a clown thing. I was like, no, I didn't like it.
Yeah, no.
It's not always going to be right either. You still need to have your own personal thing.
Give me direction.
Yeah, I mean, dude.
All right, I want to talk about epic fails then.
Many.
Because the nose wasn't an epic fail.
Yeah.
You fixed it.
Yeah.
We spoke about some DJ epic fails.
Yeah.
Right? Definitely shouldn't play music after the club turns you off. We're going to leave that one there. A biggest epic fail as an artist so far. I think these stories are important because society is too perfect, right? And then people aren't posting the failures. You're obviously just posting the finished product, right?
Yeah.
And anyone in life, right? How many of us go out and take a picture and then no, take another picture. I look, dumb in it.
Yeah.
So it's like I get the why.
Yeah.
But it could scare a lot of people, especially younger people, right? Like, man, maybe I'm not allowed to fail, right?
Yeah.
Or man, this guy's perfect. He's never had a failure moment, and I could think of 400 in my life, right? So maybe this isn't for me. Yeah. So I always like asking these kind of questions to and besides, some of them are funny as fuck. So biggest epic fail as an artist.
Oh man, there's so many.
Nice.
There's so many. I think you're gonna have more fails than actual wins as an artist. And someone tells you otherwise, they're probably lying to you.
Yeah. They're the online coach.
Nobody, exactly. Like nobody in this world becomes a master at something and learning it overnight and doesn't have failures. Even masters have failures, right? Yep. I've had situations where I completely mess up like a painting. So I use resin on a lot of my epoxy resin on some of them.
It's like a sealant of some sort, right?
Yeah, it makes it shiny.
Sure.
And once that's poured, that's poured. Like there's ways of fixing it, but you have to still pour another thing of resin. I've messed up that, and the hours and days of painting something just gone. Yeah, I've had for musicians, producers. Mm-hmm. If I can go back and do something different, I would say, and I try to do this as an artist before sending anything to galleries.
Okay.
Not that you shouldn't show what you created to the world in the beginning, but before you send it to like record labels, that are, they're very big and everything like that. Just make sure that the product you're presenting is to par to what that record label or gallery is looking for. Because, and again, if I can go back and change certain things, not that I would change a lot of things in my life because everything has a purpose of why it happened.
Yep. And gets you to the next point.
Yeah, but if I were to make something different, it would be, I wouldn't be sending every single song that I made to the record labels every single time I make it. Because especially in the beginning, it's not going to be that good. And that's okay. It's completely okay not to be that good. And you can post it online and see what people say. Get that to your friends. I mean, your friends sometimes will tell you, oh, this is great. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Yeah, your parents or whatever. Maybe try to get the reaction online for it. And the better you get, the more people will start listening. But the problem with sending music or art to galleries, to these record labels, is that that first impression.
Yeah, I was good. Yeah, I knew we were going there.
Yeah, is so important. If you send me something, your stick figure for Too Much Art, and I go,
you're telling me I don't have a shot?
I'm like, this is not that what I'm going for. And then, okay.
This is not what I'm going for.
Not for my thing. And then you go and there's silence or whatever, or I say, no, it's not for us, or not. And then the next one you create still is not that up to par, right? And it's still not that great because you're learning still. And you send it again. That second time, I may still look at it because I'm gonna say, okay, maybe we'll give it another shot. But that third time, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth time, I'm most likely not gonna open that email anymore because I just know what's coming.
You know it's not good.
It's not what I'm looking for.
Right.
Right. And that 10th time is probably that badass fucking song or badass piece that I didn't open and I passed on. That's my bad too. I should be.
Sure, but yeah. Based on your track record and what you thought was good for me, and it hasn't been good, so clearly we're not aligned on what this definition of that I'm looking for.
So I think going back to the question of epic fails, I think for fail, I don't think it was I guess you can call it a fail. I think that I went too strong too fast, without letting myself grow.
Okay.
I try to get to the finish line without wanting to build, the process of getting to that finish line. Right.
You wanted to run the marathon, but you hadn't ran.
I never ran one before. Right. I was just doing 5Ks.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
I'm good at this, bro. How hard could it be?
Yeah. Well, my wife actually, the first time she ran a marathon, she had run a 5K before and then ran a marathon after. I was like, you're absolutely crazy. I don't know how you did it, but you did it.
You guys are good for each other because she calls you batshit crazy and then she's batshit crazy.
Oh yeah, she's complete opposite, but she's a complete opposite of me, man. Like she's quiet. Like Paula has known her for years. Like quiet, not much, doesn't say much. And I'm like the complete opposite.
Right.
So it's like yin yang,
Perfect.
Yeah. But I think that failure is part of it. Accept it. Part of it. And it's good. Failure is good. Because if you win all the time, that ego gets to you. Right?
It's a good way to humble yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, if you're not failing, I've heard this and I agree completely with it. It's like if you're not failing, that means you're probably not getting into enough situations that are uncomfortable. And if you're not in those situations, you're probably not
100%,
growing.
100%.
Right? And so you may not be failing, but you may be restricting yourself from getting to that next level or 100%. Getting to that next win that you didn't even know you wanted and ultimately, doesn't cause the failure. So
yeah. And how do you know you're failing or not failing if it's not being told to you,
right?
You're failing. And that's not, when I say being told, people don't necessarily need to tell you, but like
the world shows you.
Yeah, right. But that's just part of life, man. That's just part of life.
All right, so I want to talk about the opposite of failures because this is the segment that is the nearest and dearest to me. All right. I met you probably late teens, early 20s, so I don't know anything about childhood, Pedro.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm a firm believer, and I use the term inner child, right? Our inner childs are essentially why we're here today, right? I am who I am today because this child has evolved to who I am. Yeah. I know for a fact, based on having these type of conversations, not everybody thinks about their inner child moments enough, maybe at all. Yeah. Some people at all. I can go back to specific moments, some as early as kindergarten, some as early as pre-K 3, right? That I remember like they were yesterday. And that freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because then there's other parts of my life that I can't tell you who my fourth grade teacher was. Not because fourth grade wasn't awesome and not because I didn't have, it wasn't one of those inner child moments. So selfishly, I asked this question, A, to get the guest to think of an inner child moment. Put yourself in that lens, in that time frame. And B, it ties to the story, right? Who you are today it was built from this person. So if I were to say what's an inner child moment that you may or may not have heard or thought of in a while, that describes what life has taught you over the last 40 years, right? You you are somebody that has a very clear lens now based on life experiences that have come. How can you tie those into an inner child moment? And knowing what you know now, if you would have known, then like, shit, that guy actually knew what I know now. He just didn't know he knew it, right? Like what is a moment that takes you there?
The first time I started, I started like drawing because of my half sister in Brazil.
Okay.
On my dad's side.
You lived in Brazil at all?
1 year.
Okay.
Well, I got here when I was 5 years old.
Okay.
And then in 7th grade, my parents went through like financial troubles. We went to Brazil for a year. And my sister was always very artistic. To this day, she does like, she has her own thing where she has design. She went to design school, like fashion school, always knew how to draw. And when I saw her doing it, I wanted to do it. And I still have it to this day. All my Dragon Ball Z drawings that I did from just looking just like that. And I was 14 years old, around there, 15 maybe. I don't remember what age 7th graders are now.
7th grade, you're
probably... I went there for 8th grade and I came back in 9th grade.
Okay, yeah. 8th grade, I think you're 13, 12, 13?
Something like that, yeah. Well, I was going into high school, so I would say, let's say 14 around there.
13, 14.
And at that point was when I really started like catching myself. But I also, and this is something that I was thinking about the other day, I was a very small kid, elementary school still. And my dad used to have this office, like a company in downtown Miami.
Okay.
And I'll never forget this because this clicked on me the other day. I'm like, I can't believe this is actually happening right now.
This is what I want.
Yeah. So I remember, being in this hallway where the elevators, were, and I would be drawing things, and I would say, "Oh, one day I'm gonna have my own cartoon." Right. And that clicked to me actually about a week or two ago. I was like, "Oh, I can't."
I'm drawing my own cartoons.
Yeah. Now I'm like drawing like certain things in life, right? That really click. And this one, just the thing about me, the music production thing, where I was in high school, so I wasn't really a kid, but I put those things together like about a few months ago where I walked into a music production class in 11th grade for credit. And I walked out and went to the counselor and said, "Get me the hell out of this class. This is not for me." And I ended up becoming a music producer.
Yes.
And
at a high level.
Yeah. And then they took me to an art class, right? Just so I can get my art credit, right? Because that's what I needed. And I was like, that's the easiest thing. And the teacher kept telling me, "You have some talent, just shut the hell up." And I was just bad in high school.
Yeah,
Paul
facts,
knows.
Facts.
Yeah. And I didn't care about any of that. I wasn't gangster enough. But, that wasn't gangster enough.
Was not gangster enough.
Yeah. So how things come full circle in life, right? And those moments, I think, are important, like where it change the fabric of your life, right?
And when I think when you think of these moments, why I like doing this is so therapeutic to me. This is my art shit, right? Like something that you could be thinking without, I guess, call it indirect thinking, right? Yeah. I sometimes work on something and I'm thinking of something else. We're all like that, right? Our brain's going a million miles an hour, a million directions. And you're thinking of something and you don't know why the fuck you're thinking about that thing. You know what I mean? And like in my 20s, I had absolutely no connectivity of what was happening. And now in my mid 30s, I'm like leaning into it where I'm like,
same here,
putting things around on purpose to get me to think of things like, like my trash can in my little office area in my house is a trash can from my dad's first office when he had his own brokerage. Because when I was that kid, same thing, going to my dad's office, I would say, one day I'm going to own my own company. One day I'm going to have a desk like this.
There you go.
Sure as shit, the little gray trash can that I have to this day that in my 20s was used more to throw up in than to work, right? Now is on purpose there to get me to think of that moment, right? Or my dad going to a conference that was in Tampa, and I can tell you, bro, I was fucking this big. I don't know how old I was, but this is middle school. This is pre-middle school because I wasn't in Belen yet. So somewhere between kindergarten and 5th grade, and him getting me, I didn't know at the time, his old briefcase that was all beat to shit, but to me it was my first briefcase, you know, and going to this conference in Tampa. We flew Southwest. It's one of my first experiences of going on a business trip,
Yeah.
you know, like, and now I'm like, oh, I know why I take notes or certain thing. And I could tell you that my notebook that day was a blue one with a little Rexall sticker on. Like,
Yeah.
I'm there.
Dude,
how the fuck do I remember this?
My dad, he was a major, like, almost like hippie. I know the hippie era was the 60s, but like, I want to say like the 70s.
Okay.
That was his era. But my dad's like favorite band is Pink Floyd. And to this day, Pink Floyd is one of my favorite bands. It's probably my favorite. Through that, he had the Wall album.
Okay.
That he would play all the time. And through that, I discovered, my love for synths.
Okay.
Right, and make melodies and stuff like that. And they were also a band that I would listen to a lot. To this day, I still do.
I'm sure they were in one of the stages.
Yeah, for sure. No, Pink Floyd is 100%. Yeah. To this day, I listen to Pink Floyd a lot. Just because if you actually listen to it and just listen to not only the lyrics, but the music behind it, oh my God, man. Like, it takes you on a real crazy journey. Like, when we leave here, just put on some Pink Floyd in the car, just like, let me see what he's talking about. And like, just really just pay attention to how they build the synths.
Give me a full album to play on my next.
The Wall is probably the biggest. Yeah. Yeah. And, that is also a big thing for me. Like, he would continuously play Pink Floyd. I did a Pink Floyd like piece for him, actually. He's like obsessed with it, but I think that also,
it came from something and it brought you to something, and now we're here. And 20 years from now, you may have another reference point in this circle of that specific story, and but if you're not conscious of it, you can't connect the dots.
I can't tell you how many times that I created like chords that I was listening to a Pink Floyd like song. Look. I said again, everything is a remix, right? When I say that, it's just everything that you see, right, is a better version of a previous version of something.
This is some type of reference to anything.
Yeah, and it's just, these lights. There were crappier ones before this one.
For sure.
Right?
For sure. And there's some newer ones after it.
Yeah.
Already.
Some better ones, right?
1000%.
So, yeah, I mean, and I think that's how you have to be with yourself too.
What's next? What is today's original for tomorrow's remix? What does tomorrow's remix look like for you?
I think
what's next for Henrix, and what's next for Too Much Art?
Yeah, so I think for me, there's a few things that are what's next, right? For me, like, I want to continue building, my art, my visual art. I also want to see if I also do some works with different brands, right? And maybe even help artists build their brands. And I have my other company. It's actually called Very Good AI.
Okay.
With a buddy of mine that wants to help small businesses to kind of do automation for things, right? For AI, like someone calls you and your business is closed at the time, right?
Sure.
For restaurants, and you have someone that's like a AI person that's speaking to them, booking stuff. So I have different things coming up, man. And I think the next is just trying to continuously evolve myself. Not only as a brand, an artist, but as a person. I'm a father now, right? I think that's my biggest blessing right there. Yeah.
And you thought you lost sleep over art before.
Yeah,
Let's talk about the new blessing, right?
All the bags under my eyes, man. Yeah, but it's worth it, it's absolutely a surreal feeling because I can have, and I've heard this so many times before, and I just couldn't relate because I never had a kid.
Sure.
And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. People would say like, you can have a bad day, you get home and your kid, smiles at you,
and it
just goes. And it's literally that. And I never understood that. Like, I mean, I can understand what they're saying,
sure,
but I couldn't understand it as in like, how, dude? Like, you have a terrible day, at work.
Yeah,
and
your mood's your mood.
Yeah, But like, I go see him and he smiles and everything just
stops.
Yeah, dude. It's a surreal feeling, yeah.
Well, we got some first time stories here. All right. I'm grateful for the opportunity to kind of pull these out of you and
thank you for having
and give
me.
you a platform to express these stories.
I appreciate that. Yeah, man.
I love the fact that naturally our community is entertainment based, but I'm trying to bring different elements of the art behind entertainment,
Reinvention.
Reinvention of it. And this was like a perfect collab of both worlds, right? Where
Absolutely.
you're coming at it from a producer, ex-producer, but not really ex, because at the end of the day, you're still that guy that has then found ways to tie other type of things. But what you learned from there, applying it into your new thing and kind of reinventing, but with purpose, right? And I think there's a lot to get out of a sit down like this. There's a lot of struggles I think you went through that we covered that people can relate to and maybe say like, damn, I didn't look at it that way.
Yeah.
And I always use the code of one, right? Like, we're not gonna get 1.7 million viewers on this. I guarantee it. All I want is for one person to get something out of it. You know what I mean? Because then that to me was worth it. More importantly, also, it was worth to catch up to with you.
Absolutely.
I was one of those that wasn't making up stories, but have heard stories and whatnot. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I still lived in Vegas. Why'd Pedro stop?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't go backstage after he left, dude. What do we do now?
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for laying out the stories the way that you did, man. Super, super inspiring and
I thank you for having me because it's something that I've always wanted to. Like I said, there's going to be one time that I'm going to be able to talk about it.
Love that.
Yeah, and when you reached out to me, I was like, okay, I think this may be that time.
I randomly reached out. I asked him. I was like, hey, what do you think? He'd be down. He's like, yeah, you've never spoken about it, so I don't know if he's down.
Yeah.
But fucking, I don't know. Text him, and I'm like, let's see if it's still his number. You know what I mean? Like that was the first thought in my mind. I'm like. I have it saved still as Pedro Henrix.
Since high school,
never changed. Yeah. So my cell number was my sister's number before mine.
Okay.
So there's a little joke that like my phone's been in my in my family longer than I have.
Nice.
It's like I'm never changing that number.
Yeah.
I got it in 5th grade. I inherited it. It's like God knows how long before that. But all right, man. So you guys were blessed with Henrix story. Pedro Henriquez into Henrix into Too Much Art. And if they wanted to reach out and connect, maybe an aspiring artist that has a question or a future client for Too Much Art, what's the best way to do that?
Just reach out to me on Instagram. You can email me as well.
Okay.
info@toomuchart. But my Instagram is probably the best way. And I have no problem with helping people at all.
Henrix Art, right?
Henrix Art, yeah.
With an X, don't fuck up.
Yeah.
Can I ask one last question?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know you kind of said it earlier, but for fun, would you ever DJ again?
Yes, in the right scenario. It's something that I have thought of doing like a one-time thing, but I don't know if I want to do or maybe a one here, one there, or something like that. I don't know if I ever want to do a whole thing where it becomes my main thing again. Cool. But I haven't done it yet because I could, and I have the venue to do it. And I could if I wanted to, like next month if I wanted to. But I haven't because I needed to be correct.
Okay, fair.
Going back to everything that we just talked about, everything has to be right.
Yeah.
Right? At least for me in this part of my. And by the way, don't take that as someone that's aspiring and saying like, oh, I'm not gonna do anything because everything has to be correct. No, mess up, man. Mess up. I'm at a point that now everything for me has to be correct, but you need to mess up.
Yeah.
Right? So don't take that as
you did.
Throughout
the process.
Just the mess ups that you have, just make sure that they're not some bad mess ups. I think I'm right, but mess up.
Mess up, but with some type of limits.
Yeah.
Don't fuck up.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll be waiting for that date then, and we'll be there.
For sure.
That's for sure.
I want everybody in Miami to be there, man.
Cameo 2.0.
Yeah.
Rock Talk. We'll be back.
All right.